Russo's getting old. What
Yep.
is that I hear?
I'm hearing voices in my head. You know you're bad when you're hearing Donald Trump voices in your head. Then you realize it's just a YouTube on one of your 78 windows open on your computer. What's going on? Oh goodness, what is that, Mo?
Oh wait, is he dead?
Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
This is a gift I got from one of my subscribers.
That is an interesting gift. Meanwhile, Suni got a gift. It looks like from the federal government. She's eating a donut. Did you get the jab? Is that why you got the donut? What's going on?
No, my husband was just nice enough to buy me coffee and a donut for breakfast.
He's like, girl, you looking a little skinny. I need you to put something around that tushy area. You know what I'm saying?
I got too much already.
Yeah.
I don't need to go any bigger.
I do not have an issue in the ass area. Guys, do me a huge favor. Share this out. I don't know what happened about an hour and a half ago, and we had 150 people watching my cell phone, which is crazy. But we've been looking at other.
You did it from your phone.
What's that?
You did it from your phone.
I do it from my phone all the time. It's not that it still doesn't get that way. But I've been watching these kind of shows. I was watching Turning Point earlier. We were checking some stuff. Nobody is getting any views in the last few days. So do us a huge favor. Hit the like, hit the share, give us the thumbs up. Like Nikki says right there, do it to it. Kevin, where have you been?
Yo, I have been absolutely melting my brain with studies and everything like that. I'm doing like 10 to 12 hours a day, just school with the radio and everything. So I have been out of commission, but I am back. I'm actually doing now, it is Common Nonsense every morning from 7 to 9 a.m. It is no longer called Liberty Revolt, new name, but that's been a whirlwind because I have to figure out how to talk for 2 hours on my own.
I think Suni would probably tell you it's not an issue for you.
No,
it's not going to be a problem.
I don't think anybody on the panel thinks you're going to struggle with that.
I have my handy dandy horn. I got my soundboard ready.
I get 2 hours a day to myself, so it's not a big deal not to say much anymore.
Oh, you know why we don't have a ton of people watching? Because I didn't start the show also on the other page, on the other YouTube. So I'll start it out over there, do the same thing, see if that helps.
Wow,
well, this broadcast is already live. All right, we added it there. Maybe some people will jump in. We'll give it a minute or two. We got some good topics today. We're talking Super Bowl halftime show that apparently was dedicated to Black culture. Candace Owens loved it. I loved it. How many people on the screen loved the halftime show?
I loved the halftime show.
It was amazing.
I thought it was fantastic.
Suni, like a drifter, she was born to walk alone on that one. She's like, yo, old.
I'm young. Shit, I didn't grow up on Dr. Dre and all them. I don't know them artists like that.
Oh, he said that you were saying you all are old.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. She prefers mumble rap.
You can't be from SoCal and not know
Okay. We're gonna also talk about who might run against Biden because his approval rating is so low in the DNC and the Democratic voters that we don't even think a sitting president will win his own primary. Do they even? Is there actually a primary when you're actually in office?
Yes.
For presidential, it's just never been an issue.
Yeah, it's just usually the sitting president is never challenged. So it's the fact that he could potentially get primaried is massively funny.
That's insane. And do you think he goes to bed at night like 47 years and now I finally made it to the presidency and now not only do I apparently sound like George Bush, but I go to bed every night with everybody hating me. Everybody hates me.
No. He goes to bed at night thinking about little girls. We all know that.
You mean his daughter?
That was a curveball. That was creepy. We're not talking about Hunter Biden and his niece. That was weird, Casey. We're going to talk about, vaccinations. 6 month to 5 year old that got postponed. The hearing with the FDA. All right, Casey, did you get to the Competes Act, or we just
I'm still going through it.
It's all 2,200 pages. Well, on the upside, Casey went and got his special attic kit, so he's got a crack pipe, so he is able to stay up and read all 2,200 pages. We're going to talk about Justin Trudeau. That was not on the original list, but we feel like we got to talk about it because he is essentially decided as of today he is now the dictator of Canada. Durham Report, obviously, number one topic. We'll talk about that throughout the show. What we know, we actually finally do have some copies of it. For everybody out there, do us a huge favor. We're 5 minutes in. If you are watching, Casey, do me a huge favor. Put the link to this show on the other Truth Will Set You Free YouTube channel. Where's everybody watching from? Let's see. Okay, we don't have a ton of people, honestly, watching from the old YouTube, so that's good. But if you are, Casey's going to put it up there, and he's going to tell you where to go. We'll switch that over once we start talking about Schmaxinations. With that said, guys, let's go ahead and get the party started. It's time to start Truth Will Set You Free, episode number 942. I actually don't know what episode it is. What's going on, everybody? It is episode number 87 of Truth Will Set You Free, weekly conversation. If you can't tell, we've rebranded the page. It is no longer Be The Change. We have a separate Be The Change. If you want to find that, just Be The Change USA or at Be The Change USA or Be The Change, separate words, etc. You can find it there. That's our positivity page. Truth Will Set You Free is a Be The Change division, and it is the political page. It is where we talk about politics, what's going on. We're going to give some truckers updates. We're going to talk about Justin Trudeau. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl, Durham Report, who might run against Biden in the primary because he's so bad amidst the Democratic Party. And let's see, V word, 6 month to 5-year-olds. And is the crack pipe that we discussed last week a true story? Because we had some feedback on that. Hopefully Gully Bull and his left butt will make this episode. Do us a huge favor, hit the share button. We have a lot of people watching, which is great, but we don't have a lot of thumbs up and hearts. So do us a favor at the count of 5. We're going to count down from 5. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody's going to hit the like button. If you are watching on YouTube, swipe the comments to the side. You can make a comment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Suni. Hit the button.
Yeah.
Hit the button.
Okay.
The sound
Hit the
effect button.
Oh. You're not being descriptive. Hit the button. There's a lot of buttons over here.
You sound like Kelly. Yes, I am.
There.
What happened to the
It sounded like a honk.
You caught me off guard, all right? I wasn't ready.
Where's the
You said hit the button, I'm like, this?
There we go.
There we go. That's saved now for when you need to cut off Kevin. Okay. Any updates? If you guys want to watch us if you guys don't want to watch us and you want to listen to us on podcasts, go to #BeTheChange.com/podcast. That's a great way to support us. And if you want to be a Patreon, go to patreon.com/BeTheChangeUSA. We are going to also have another offer for kind of similar stuff. With the Great American Syndicate coming up soon. If you become a syndicate member by the next week from now, we're going to have that offer, and it'll kind of encompass everything from Be The Change Syndicate, whatever we can give. Anyways, what other? Oh, housekeeping. AwakeNotWokeStore.com. We've got the trucker stuff. I actually was hoping to wear mine today, but it has not come in the mail so that I could show it off. So you'll probably see it in a video tomorrow when it comes in the mail. But if you get any of the trucker stuff, 10% will go to wherever we can donate it on the Convoy. I don't know where that's going to go just yet. If it's Give, Send, Go, we don't know. But we'll hold it on the side to see how we can help out. And secondly, it's 20% off if you use the code word Convoy still, which will be probably done by next week. Probably by the end of the weekend. All right. Do us a favor. Lastly, in the comments, do some kind of comment. Tell us where you're calling in from. Calling in? That's weird. Are we talking radio in 1987? Hey, this is WPXYJ. Where y'all calling in from?
You gotta do Art. You gotta do like Art Bell voice. You know Art Bell.
How old are you, Mo?
Hey, caller.
How old
Where are you
no,
from?
dude. I used to listen to Art Bell's like UFO radio. Like, you know when he was talking about UFOs in Area 51?
Suni's in the upper corner going like, I was friends with Mo until I just realized that she's as old as a dinosaur.
Hey, bringing in that older crowd.
Well, play to your demographic. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Anybody got any news before we get popping? Big news? Anything? Wow. Exciting. Mo did her hair. Get her hair off.
I just straightened it.
Phew. Man, and
I'm muted. This is what happens when I smoke before a show. Good Lord.
It didn't happen.
First time, shut up.
Snoop smoked before his show. I love that one Twitter thing where they the person put the clip up I had respect for Snoop until I saw this and he was smoking weed before he went on. It's clearly did not know who Snoop Dogg was.
Weed is from the earth. God put it here for us to partake in. And it has medicinal effects. That's just it.
Okay.
I agree.
If you smoke too much, you can get dumb. I did a little bit too much and I feel dumb right now. This show's probably going to be a shit show for me. I'm just giving you a heads up now.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. All right. Well, let's before the high really kicks in. Let's talk about let's talk Super Bowl.
Stoners over here.
Okay. I'm actually gonna tell a story about weed real quick. So I'm gonna tell a story about
marijuana before.
I'm gonna tell a story about the reefer.
Right? Russo's so square.
I'm not that
He's the
square.
straightest edge I've ever seen.
Okay,
Actually,
square. So this is where I start to feel square. So I was speaking at an event in Kansas City this last week, and there was a homecoming day. I don't know, homecoming, whatever there is in February. Oh, I guess Valentine's dance. I don't know. These were high school kids, and I will tell freshman year. I'm going to tell you right now, their dads were there taking pictures, all this stuff. There wasn't a single girl whose dress was within 6 inches of the palm test. Mm-hmm. They were barely past their gummazy gum. They were just barely past the ass cheek.
Toast coming out the toaster.
Honestly, I'm not as much of a square as you guys may think, because I don't do the drugs. I do smoke weed on occasion, but
weed's not a drug.
I could not. I've never done a different drug besides weed. I cannot believe that.
Never done cocaine off the toilet seat in the bathroom?
I have never done that.
Wow.
Nope. No, have not. Did you blow your nose before you came out? This whole sniffing, rubbing is, but it's first off allergies.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I realize my mustache is tickling my nose.
I don't know if you
know
know
this. Put the paper down when you sit down because of people like Rousseau.
I smoke rocks.
Okay. Anyways, so these girls were wearing something that I could never, ever think was okay as a father. And their dads were like, hey, look at your daughter, Karen. You're looking at my daughter? Because I'm looking at your daughter. Okay, well, as long as we're not looking at our own daughter. It's what the fuck? It was absurd. So maybe I am a square. But anyways, there was a recovering drug addict that even
Biden party, because the Biden party.
I thought this story was supposed to make you not a square. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is where I'm going. This person was an ex drug addict, but it was 35 years. But they have a really they're a lot. They're just a lot, and I think that I recommended that they potentially think about using marijuana to qualm that. But I'm they've been 30 years sober from the hard stuff, and if they're not smoking the weed, I feel like it might have had a good effect. So. I don't know.
And this story makes you not a square. How?
Yeah, guys. Well, we just found out that Anthony's story of not a square is the squarest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I recommended somebody smoke it because they're hyper. That's not a square.
Fine. You know what? I told her, why don't you just go mainline heroin and see what happens?
Start squirting it between your toesies. That's what's up.
Your toesies. Get in line for the free crack pipes.
Yeah. So the general consensus, everybody in the chat, all right? The general consensus, Russo's a square 1. If he's not a square, put 2. We'll see what the audience says. I think this would be funny.
Oh, snap.
With our demographic of 40 to 65-year-old women, if I'm a square in this group, I probably need to.
What makes you a square? What makes you a square, Sudi?
Casey.
Oh, Lord. Dang.
Yo, everybody's putting a 1.
Judy, that's what I'm talking about, Judy.
Oh, come on, Judy.
I'm turned.
I won. Doesn't matter.
I am quite lit, actually.
I'm quite lit. I don't know if you know this.
You said turn, bro. Nobody says turn anymore.
I'm checking my watch, and it's a quarter past.
Let's get hyphy, yo. Let's go.
Nobody says turn down.
No, nobody says turn anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lit.
Hey Mo, no cap. Nobody says turn anymore. Did I use that right?
It's just
Did
cat.
I use no cap right?
yeah, and nobody listens
You
to
did.
Art Bell. I guess I'm gonna
She
with
said 3. That means I don't even know.
you're off the chart.
Okay, let's get started. Let's talk Super Bowl. Let's do culture first before Suni gets too high. So, for those just joining, let's raise your hand if you thought it was an epic Super Bowl top 2. Either this one or Prince was the number 1. If this was the top Super Bowl performance,
You're talking about the show. You're talking about
the show, not the sorry. I'm talking about the halftime show. The rest of the Super Bowl is hot garbage.
I don't know if it's
The
like
Super Bowl was
number
great.
2. I don't know if it's number 2 because Prince singing "Purple Rain" as it was raining for me like was on point, but like this was definitely in the top 5.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
behind Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson.
Right, because
You only like that for other reasons.
I was watching it at church when that happened.
Oh man.
Did you Google?
So
Wow.
people can say Prince is better. I still think this was top 2. I don't know. Like I like Prince. I like this one better. I do think the Prince one was also incredibly epic because of the rain. I just know that Prince was a shithead, so I just already have it. Granted, these guys are shitheads too, but whatever. Top 2. Michael Jackson was the best of all time. His was when was that one? What was that? Early
90s.
2000s? When was it?
I thought he did one in the 90s.
Heal the world. I don't know. It was a little bit more of a, I don't know, whatever. I'm saying top 2, top 3. What is your issue
93.
with the halftime show?
Honestly, didn't have like an issue with it because you know what you're getting when it comes to them. It was more so the influencers, bro. It was the influencers. I see shit on black people all day, every day. Stop the gang culture. Quit murdering each other. And then they were like hype as hell, listening to Dr. Dre talk about murdering and shooting motherfuckers in their faces and bitches. Of course, they bleeped it out. But I was like, bro, what is going on here? It's okay to like the show, but I'm like pointing things out that are actually in the show.
See,
that what would be symbolism, and people are just like, so what? I'm like, nobody said you couldn't enjoy it, but these things were in the show.
why are people saying that 50 Cent was so fat?
Because he's fat as hell.
He
Okay.
50 cents
That
turned
was-
into $1.
he just wasn't super skinny, but that dude could bench press all of us with one hand. He was yoked out of his mind. That wasn't fat. That was just muscle bloat. He was huge.
I thought it was Mike Jones, honestly, at first.
But you guys, we have to
don't.
remember their ages. Like, there's so much critique about how they look, and he's 46 years old. He looks pretty okay for a 46-year-old guy.
Do you know how he got upside down, Mo?
No. How did he get upside down?
So there's a video of it. He was, as they were finishing the act, he had I don't know if he had the microphone on him or in his pocket or whatever, did a pull-up, flipped himself upside down, hung his legs up, and went upside down to start rapping. That's not a fat, like,
No.
do that
No,
when
it's
you're
not.
46.
You
Yeah.
want to know what's funny is how many people don't know why he was upside down.
I know,
They
right? I'm
don't.
like,
It's
did
just
you
a
not
funny
watch
image.
the video?
Watch the
No,
video.
it's not funny image. It's a take back to his music video.
Who just
He
said it was
started
a
his
funny
music
image?
video that way.
See Lizzo and him try to do that move and see who looks better doing it, Lizzo or him.
Oh, Lizzo
Oh,
gorgeous.
That
see-
stage wasn't reinforced enough.
Because see, this
Yeah,
was
she
my
would fall,
thing. Is
but California would separate.
I said y'all are critiquing 50 Cent because he had a little fupa, okay? But Lizzo is like spilling out like a busted can of biscuits in every damn picture she looks disgusting, but she's beautiful. I don't get that.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't
just
see
in it
any
for the
fat
memes.
on. I didn't see any fat on him, dude. Like he just.
I'm in
he
it
got,
for the memes.
He was chubby. He was chubby.
I'm looking at it right now. He still has a waistline. He's just that dude that just
thought he
worked
looked
out
good.
too damn much. Like all he did was lift.
I don't.
Okay, I'm looking at it right
Okay.
now. He doesn't have back fat.
Back fact.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna show one specific image, which is him from below. People like I guarantee you he does a crap ton of steroids, plain and simple.
Well, yeah.
You're gonna show what?
Like you can't be fat and have that kind of like
I don't know. He looks good to me. He looks
like
good.
that is not
No,
fat. That's-
he's a very strong human being.
You
oh God.
Wait, Russo. Bring
Yeah.
up the picture that you said that what's his name's junk was swinging around. Snoop's junk.
Not a picture. You have to watch it.
Oh.
Let's see.
Oh,
I'll go ahead and close this window. So all I could notice once I noticed it one time was the fact that it appeared as though Snoop Dogg had the reason why he is Snoop D-O double G is the double G is for the elongated size of his junk. And he probably does not wear underwear because it was just swinging around in his pants. Swanging. Let's see if I can catch a video of that. So here's my question,
Anthony. I'm sure you would catch that video.
I knew I was going to see. I didn't want to say it. I knew.
I'm sure you have it saved in your watch later.
I don't have it saved. I got to Google it.
He's like, I got to go find it, pretending like it's not the first tab open in his other Chrome.
Right, pretending it's not like his screensaver right now.
I can't. I did. I tried to.
Look at us talking about Snoop Dogg's penis. Let's go.
Well, it's funny because I guess there was a news article saying Dr. Dre says Eminem won't whip out his penis during the Super Bowl halftime show. It will be penis free. Apparently, the fact that that's even a news article. Dr. Dre told Eminem, Snoop Dogg, no penis is out. So I guess, how is this? This is a real press conference. The hell?
Wow.
I didn't mean to look at it. I saw it. I was looking at a small screen, and then I could not unsee it. So
I know someone, I forget who, called it like sexual anarchy. I'm like, if you're looking at Mary J. Blige and thinking sexy anarchy, like, or,
Suni is all of a sudden thinking about her I've fallen and I can't get up meme right now. So the thing that I found interesting also is you had a bunch of conservatives like Charlie Kirk, I think is the one that said it. He's like,
that's what I was
so degrading towards women. And I'm like, okay, we've seen some, trust me, this looked nothing like the high school freshman prom that I saw. Like those girls were dressed like more skanks from the middle of Kansas City than the halftime performance. So I didn't think it was that risque at all. Did anybody else feel differently?
It was not risque. I did not think it was risque at all.
Do you know who thinks it's risque? People that are squares. People that are square and a half.
So Anthony's trying to hide the fact that he thought it was very risque. He goes, look at those thighs on Mary J. Blige, okay? That was you, Tony.
Did you think it was a little too provocative, Stony Smurf?
No.
No. So what's your issues? You just think it was like old people rapping? Is that
no?
what
it was the imagery. It wasn't even me vibing. Like I know all the songs. I grew up hearing it. It was the undertones. Like I said, they had body positivity cheerleaders standing next to Snoop. Like no fucking cheerleader looks like that. We all know what they're doing with that. Then they had Snoop Dogg throwing up the Crip sign and Crip walking and doing all this stuff, and it was just like people condemn that, but then they celebrate it just because it's their favorite rapper. And I'm just like, they sell this music to their community. That's what I think of.
Go ahead, Mo.
I was going to say, the thing about it is this. I can listen to the most vile rap, whatever you want to tell me, kill, shoot, whatever. And that's not going to change who I am. The problem is when the wrong person who is highly influential, doesn't have a good, upbringing at home, parents that aren't involved, they're looking to this stuff as, oh, this is my role model. This is reality. They're really out here killing people. They're really out here selling drugs. When the reality is half these guys that rap about this stuff maybe used to do it back in the day, but they're not doing it anymore. So for me, I can get past all of the verbiage of all that stuff because for me personally, it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care.
So question, because soon you brought up the body positivity. I think the fact that we're in 2022, we assume it's body positivity, or is it just the fact we're finally embracing Black culture and they're just thicker girls and that's what the guys want?
Listen, I'm Black, all right? Born and bred. Do you see any fat hanging off me? I'm a normal sized woman. Those women are not normal size.
No,
but I know some Black dudes that like them girls thick them.
Hey, that's cool if they like that, but it's a body positivity message because no cheerleader looks like that.
No.
Well, true. Were they dressed up fully as cheerleaders or were they like cheerleader-ish?
Absolutely.
I don't
they
know,
were
man.
cheerleaders.
You go to
I'll
like
send it to you.
some of those high schools in the hood in
Yeah.
LA. Those girls are thick.
Yeah, yeah. I think that they're just real. They're realistic Southside LA cheerleaders. That's all.
You didn't
they
even
were.
see him. Did you see him?
Yeah, I saw
Did
them,
you?
but
Yeah.
they weren't fully in. Like, I think they had the cheerleader skirt. They had like jean jacket on. They were big. I'm not saying they weren't big. Like,
Yeah, they were big.
but
is-
again,
like you couldn't tell the front of their knees from the back of their knees. That's how big they were.
Like, let's just consider this, right? Body positivity. It is more important to tell people it is okay to be fat and unhealthy than anything. Like, we just suffered a pandemic where if you were not old or immunocompromised, being fat was the worst possible thing you could be.
actually,
this
in
pandemic.
some ways, it was worse than being immunocompromised.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to help our country, if you want to talk healthcare costs, obesity is the most costly thing we freaking have in this country, healthcare wise.
They should introduce the dancers. Introducing the comorbidity dance crew.
Comorbidity.
Like, the body positivity thing, it's like, yeah, body positivity, and in the end, you're just leading to depression, early death, like all this other crap.
So
You're not helping anyone.
Speaking more of this, well, let's stick with the halftime show real quick because I do want to talk about the fact they did. I believe they seem to have played the Black National Anthem before the Super Bowl, I believe, which cool. Candace Owens, your girl, Suni, she was a huge fan of the halftime show as well. What do you think about her? Because she speaks out against that culture all the time,
I
just
think it's
going gung ho
hypocritical.
for that.
I think
what?
it's hypocritical.
Right.
It's hypocritical. I might listen to this music, but you will never hear me big it up. You will never hear me or see me put a post online and say this is amazing and then go back and critique the very people who are influenced by that. I'm not going to do that because at the end of the day, wrong is wrong and right is right. I thought it was hypocritical. And a lot of people say, well, she's being sarcastic. And it's like, I don't know, bro, because she didn't follow it up with nothing. And if that's how she felt, she's entitled to that. Nobody's saying she can't feel that way. But I think it's absolutely hypocritical. Because the next time something goes down in the gang, in the hood, you know what she's going to do? She's going to condemn gang violence. She's going to condemn gang culture. What does Snoop and Dre represent? They started gangster rap. Like, come on. They started this genre. They're not talking about anything positive. So I thought it was hypocritical. That's just it.
And yeah, the gang signs by Snoop are one thing. There was the scene where he did grab the whole Johnson. But what?
How
What's
much
up?
cred does he have when he has a show with Martha Stewart?
It's a great question.
You're talking about, and I'm not trying to degrade black people,
making a joke.
but they don't watch that shit. They can really give
that.
2 fucks if she's on there.
No, I know.
I think it's crazy how he represents himself a completely different way, and then when they put him on the Super Bowl, which by the way, 2 black men produce this entire thing. These same black men will whine and gripe about the representation of black men, but then put a whole show on to showcase quote unquote black culture. It's whack. I didn't fuck with it just for those reasons right there.
That's fair.
So because there was the whole, it's a celebration of black culture, which is interesting because black culture, that shouldn't be what we're celebrating, except for the fact this is what I saw. You have 2 black guys that produced the whole halftime show. You've got a sport that is predominantly African-American, people making millions of dollars a year. You have a halftime show that was for the main stars, 90% black, 80% black. You've got the dancers. You've got the, I know where we're going with this one, whoever brought that up. You've got the predominance of the dancers. It's all black people, which is awesome. But it also makes me go, how do people still, if we lived in this massively across the board racist country, this wouldn't be where we're at. That was a fully black halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of conservatives love the show. The people that we think are racist and bigots and etc. We don't live in a racist country anymore. Is there still racist people? Yes. But do we live in a racist country anymore? I believe as though that is a big friggin' girl. You're right. Holy nuggets. I just saw the girl off to the right.
They don't look like that.
Yeah. So they might down the south side. But either way, I think it's very clear that to me is the evidence needed to realize we just don't live in a racist country or culture anymore.
But they were still talking. I think this morning on The Real, they were saying there still wasn't enough black representation in the Super Bowl. And I'm just like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Eminem was literally the only white person on that stage. Like, what's the problem?
He's the white face of black supremacy.
Right.
It just really reinforced the way society looks at black people. And I think ultimately that's sad, bro. That's super sad because you have some very intelligent, brilliant minds that don't behave like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's 28 days, bro. This is the best y'all could do. You couldn't pick like straight up nostalgic songs. You couldn't play Drop It Like It's Hot and have everybody going nuts. You had to pick the most violent, vile songs.
Yeah.
Well,
For
you know
everybody
what?
to be like, woo! Like, come on, man.
They were also the most famous too.
You know
Drop
what
It
was
Like It's Hot
funny?
is just as famous as Dre Is Back or any other Snoop Dogg that's ever album that's dropped. I mean, single, my bad.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised on song choices, honestly. But
They went as Cali as they could. Where I grew up in LA, like they played What Is LA. All those songs made me think of SoCal, made me think of growing up in LA.
That was also
Growing
part of it.
growing up in the area, it was Cali as hell, except for Eminem. Like I was pissed off because I thought they were going for a SoCal vibe, like a specifically LA vibe, specifically from around the last time the Rams were in LA. And to me, it just felt like, throwing Eminem in there it really threw it off for me because I love Eminem and I thought he was out of place on that stage with him.
Yeah, it didn't fit. I mean, I was happy to see Eminem there, but I don't think it fit because all the songs to me were California theme. I know you were about to say something.
They should have done a Tupac cover up there.
He's a token white boy.
Yeah. He's the black face of, or he's the white face of black supremacy. I'm telling you.
White face of black rap. Go ahead, Mel.
I just wanted to kind of add on to what Sudi was saying. Is like this morning I was listening. This is not about the Super Bowl, but this was about the Vogue cover that came out for Black History Month. Is they were mad that Kim Kardashian was on there with her spray tan appropriating black culture, apparently, because she was once again looking like Naomi Campbell, right? So they were like, why couldn't they have put somebody like Andre Leon Talley, who was the editor at large for Vogue, who was black, who was gay, as the cover of Vogue? And I was thinking in my head, why not put somebody like Sidney Poitier, who was a genius, okay, in not just a literary genius, but in the world of film and poetry. That's where their mind is at. Like they look at these people that are tied to fashion, that are tied to entertainment, and that's who they look up to, and that's what the problem is.
I agree.
Well, in Kim Kardashian's defense, she's had more black in her than most even black.
True.
Women.
That was it though. Look. I'm not one of those people, or I can turn my brain off and just sit and watch the idiot box and be entertained by it. I saw what I saw, and what I saw I didn't like. And I spoke out on it. And of course people got mad, but it's just like, I don't care, man. I'm in this to fight a bigger battle than you giving me likes and views, man. I want people to wake up and see what's being pushed and showcased about a specific group of people that always whine. It's more so to show black people like you always whine and complain about how you're represented, but you do nothing to fight back. You take on these clown roles. You like to shake your ass in front of a camera just to get a few likes and stuff. And that's what they show you as. So when people treat you as such, this is why. This is disgusting. It's Black History Month, which I don't like, but these people claim to like it. And this is what you showcase as black culture.
Have you ever, speaking of like weird shit people do and just shake their ass for weird amounts of money, have you ever watched I did TikTok live the other night. So I did like 2 hours of politics, which was really interesting because it grew to like 200 people, went down to like 50. And I actually had some liberals that were like going in hard, and they ended up actually following me afterwards, been like, this is the most peaceful conversation with a conservative ever. I can't get you mad. And I'm like, I don't get mad. Anyways, but what's funny, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of people, weird shit people do, have you ever like just scrolled through the lives late night on TikTok?
No,
I don't have TikTok because like I'm not a middle-aged man trying to get attention from young people.
It's weird, bro. Like you'll have these pages. No, hit it. It was the weirdest thing because I was about to go live, so I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, what is happening? So you'll see like white girls, black girls, whatever, it doesn't matter, Latino girls, that are just sitting there like trying to collect money from people by like just barely showing enough to where like people get a little interested, and then like they'll start shaking their ass and being like, "Oh, thank you for the roses." I'm like, "Holy shit, this is like modern day prostitution. This is fascinating. This is creepy." And they're like getting ready to go out to the club. I'm like, we live in a whole new world.
No,
of, like,
no one tell Russo about OnlyFans.
Well, I know what OnlyFans is. but
They
that's, like,
they sell ceiling fans and side
Yeah.
fans and car fans.
I get
It's
it.
okay.
I get it. But that's like where people pay for a subscription and it's set up that way. TikTok, I didn't think was like set up that way, and it's just it's creepy.
They figure out a way to monetize all of it.
So late night TikTok this goes on? Like how
Yeah.
late? Like is it past my bedtime? Because I go to sleep early.
No, like I don't know. I was on the other night at like 11 o'clock is when I did mine, and that was when it was on. It's weird because then you also have the ASMR people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that. Oh, I
Oh,
love that.
there's some good ones on there, and they've got like 7,000 people watching them at a time. The one that's really fun. Now I'm sounding like a weirdo.
You are.
These guys will set up like ping pong courses where they'll do trick shots over and over, and they'll just talk to people. There's 3,000 people watching for them to try to get it through the thing and then into the final cut. Bunk, bunk, over and over again.
Wow.
What kind of society do we live in where 3,000 people can just sit there and watch that?
Not gonna lie,
Okay.
super hard to turn it off.
Listen, I literally to fall asleep sometimes watch pimple popping videos because I'm obsessed.
I love those. I love them.
Oh my god! Like you guys,
I thought
don't
I was
think
the
bad
only
of
one.
me. Don't think bad of me, but my mouth like literally like waters like as I'm watching.
Oh, that's a
people,
little
like. I'm just like,
That's a
oh my
little
god, because I just need to like get my hands on like a big zit that's just gonna like explode. Oh,
I love pimple popping.
Hey. Dude, drop a comment if you guys drop your weird thing that you watch on YouTube that you don't like. You don't want to share with anybody. Here's the chance right now. We're not going to judge you. Drop it in the comments.
Drop
watch
it in the
it.
comments. We're not going to share it with anybody. You're just going to put it
No.
on the internet.
I
It's
watched
just
it.
terrible.
The last one you sent me, Mo. The last one you
Was
sent,
disgusting.
I almost threw the fuck up. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
It was big. Ew.
Ew.
I
It
like
was
watching
big
those
and it
too,
like
but
popped out.
goddamn.
Oh,
No, it's more than just pimples too, because they'll have like cysts. They'll like be like messing with the thing, and then it's I can't. It's so good. It's so good.
there's this like
See,
there's
like,
this
it's
like
watch
watery.
beer
bot
eat.
fly that dogs get down in like South Africa.
Wait a minute. Can you pull that comment back up? Where the fuck are you watching this?
No, there's beer cam. There's
Oh,
deer
wait a
cam.
minute. Hold
Yeah.
up. That's
I
not
watch them
cool.
all the time. So does Emily. Like Emily literally has one up on her screen right now.
Is
That
it
is
fun?
like a
I
whole
mean, like,
thing.
what are they eating?
You're just
besides
watching bears
grass?
eat.
Yeah, you just watch
Okay.
wildlife. That's all it is. Just watching real
I
wildlife.
have
Oh, you're
never seen a
muted.
YouTube channel.
Mo, you're
I'm
muted.
muted?
Yeah,
No,
oh, there you go.
no.
Never mind. You're there.
She's there.
Okay, no, I literally like you type in like live cams around the world and you'll find like the craziest shit,
Oh my god.
like animals eating,
I'm
like
gonna do
all
this
kinds of
right
weird
now.
Soon he's like, I'm high as shit. That sounds good. Let's watch some deer eating corn, man. Woo!
Hey, I like my kids got
Oh.
me hooked on
Weed?
these big ass trucks running over shit.
Dude,
Okay.
Chinese
Like
car
these big
crash
trucks and they
compilations.
run over. I
No,
love
no.
watching those too.
I love
Lady,
car crash compilations.
this like Korean lady, and she literally like wrestles a live octopus that she's gonna eat, but the shit like comes out of a box, and she's like, oh, and the thing is like choking her, and she's like wrestling it to the ground, like hilarious. And then she like sits there. It's like an ASMR, and then she like sits there and she like moans and like eats the thing while she's like smacking. Everybody. I'm gonna send you guys a link to this because it's the weirdest thing. It's the
Oh,
weird, like the fact that she's got like millions of followers. Okay, we're like, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Wait, you
Those
ever
are
watch
weird.
the Chinese dude on TikTok? And he goes,
There's only-
There's only one Chinese dude on TikTok.
only one Chinese guy.
he's the most famous one. The rest of them suck. And he just like shaves off his hair. Yo, he's funny as shit. You guys ever seen it? I'm gonna send you that video.
I've seen the
He
Tik-
does
the-
ridiculous
I've
stuff.
seen the Chinese
The
guy.
guy who does like naked tricks and stuff like
That's
that.
the guy I'm thinking of. Have the naked
Not that
tricks guy
dude.
where he's like, and then after he gets done, he's like,
He looks back at the camera.
yeah.
They're wonderful.
Wow.
Okay, moving on. Now that we've
Man,
completely gone off the
people are
rails.
weird.
Let's all
People-
right, guys, here, do us a favor. Let's see how many people are watching on the other side. We got 13 people, so this will be our last story that we do. while we are on this page, please head to, if you see this. What do you guys want to talk about next?
I mean, we have a legitimate like totalitarian government forming to our northern border.
Let's go to
You hear anything
Canada.
about it?
Let's do Canada.
Let's do Canada there, Abe. Somewhere in the middle of this, I'm going to go ahead and pull the feed, so I might just say it at the time, just because I feel like every time we talk about Canada is when we start getting squashed by certain things. Yeah, go ahead. Go and lead the story, Keverino.
Yeah, let's hear Kevin's side.
So, as we all know, the trucker convoy in Ottawa is on what it's like third or fourth week at this point. There is a concerted media campaign to paint every single participant in this as an alt-right extremist. It is what we're seeing right now is you have people on the left who are traditionally of the working class saying, no, screw the working class. We like big daddy government. Please govern us harder. Go ahead, Daddy Trudeau, as these horrible, disgusting protesters who were terrible enough to bring their own porta potties and bouncy castles and clean up after themselves and take care of the communities they're in. Because of those horrible terrorist actions, as we all know, Justin Trudeau has invoked the Emergency Powers Act up in Canada. Because what Fidel's children do, I mean, not saying he's Fidel's kid. Not
Correct.
saying that he's the bastard child of Fidel Castro. Those are all allegations. They cannot be proven. It's just weird that they have a similarity and his mother was in the area 8 months prior to his birth. It's just weird. Okay. So yeah, guys, they invoked for only the second time. Well, the first time the Emergency Power Act has ever been invoked. They are calling in the ability to go after bank accounts now. They are trying to treat people who donate on GiveSendGo as equal to terrorists, which, though you guys might not be aware of this, that kind of inclusion can potentially land you with certain intelligence agencies on a list that's actually able to be collected on. So there's serious ramifications behind the words being used, behind the powers being given, and we are seeing the actual potential fall of a liberal democracy to the northern border of us right now.
I think you summed it up well. And yeah, it's insane. So Justin, and I brought this up on a show I did earlier. Have you seen the clip of Trudeau when I believe when he was campaigning, he got interviewed by one of the Canadian news groups in front of a live audience, and he said that he had a ton of respect for China.
Yes.
And the reason he had a ton of respect for China was because they're a dictatorship that stays very flexible because they are able to make fast decisions. So essentially, to summarize what he meant by that is China has the ability of making quick decisions in government because one person is in charge. The people don't have a voice. There is no vote that needs to happen. There is no checks and balances, and you can actually make drastic changes, which was something that he idolized before he was in office and is currently doing while he is the prime minister. It's in his genes.
Real quick on that point, because I noticed something about it. He literally sits there and talks about how he admires the single largest totalitarian dictatorship on planet Earth. And he's able to get away with it because he does a very interesting psychological trick. He's there loving on it and then accuses his opponent of being the one who would actually prefer it, gets the joke out there. All of a sudden people are laughing, viewing him as the good guy, as he's just told them
Sounds familiar.
He loves communist China.
Sounds familiar. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He made the joke about the other guy in that comment, but it's a short version of the long form what we've done in this country. When Trump was in office, they were saying all these things about him, and then now they're doing it now that they are in charge. It's the exact same thing. So they're being able to seize bank accounts. They're fighting to seize bank accounts. They've enacted this Emergency Powers Act. They have essentially there's $100,000 fines. He has threatened to make sure that truckers no longer have their business licenses. They're not allowed to work. Meanwhile, he is polling so insanely low amongst the people that actually voted for him. There is no chance he will be reelected. Does anybody actually know when the reelection is in Canada?
Years. He just got reelected.
Yeah, he just got reelected last year, I think is what it was.
Can they do a recall there, or how do they do it?
There's a process for it. I don't know exactly what it is, but there is a process.
Are they still a part of the kingdom? Are they still, or did so there is also the fact that at any point, if Queen Elizabeth looks over across the pond and goes, this is getting a little whack, she can actually do something about it.
Supposedly there's already talks of that happening.
It says here Canada does not have legislation allowing for recall elections on a federal level. The
'Cause
only
they're a
province or
monarchy.
But there's a process that they can still go through to remove an elected official. It's not necessarily a recall, but you can change it.
Well,
But with Queen Elizabeth, with the Queen, she can actually do it too. If she doesn't like it, and say, for example, Canada caves to the truckers, she might call for it in anyways. Because she also does make decisions still in other countries too, like Australia, and it's another one in Europe that she's involved in.
So the Faroe, not the Faroe. It's is it
I can't
Gibraltar?
remember.
I don't remember. It's like some small little territory.
So she can really encourage a lot. Like the Queen is on their money. Still.
I'm reading about it right now.
The thing is that they do still, like, they are independent, but they do still follow the rules of the constitutional monarchy. They are a constitutional monarchy. The Queen has never used her powers, but you can damn well be sure that if there is something that she would use it over, it is some kind of tyrannical overreach, because at the end of the day, she is still the one in charge.
Right.
Like, and she knows it. And that's the whole point of a monarchy, is at the end of the day, especially with the way she runs it, you know who is actually in charge. No single person underneath her can actually take all the power, because the people, it is very important that the British people still respect the image of the Queen, even though it's very symbolic nowadays. It represents something beyond just the government that's in control of them.
So what happens when she dies? Did she name somebody before she dies that would like step into her?
I think it just goes down the family chain.
Yeah, it just goes. She has a lot of children.
Yeah.
But the issue is going to be, well, the next person that's supposed to get it is like almost 80 now, because she's 100 years old at this point.
Right.
So do you want to give the crown off to an 80-year-old?
No, we can tell you from experience that's not a good idea.
Look around. I think the successor is around 50, is in his 50s, which would be good. Probably not going to be
Who's the Governor General?
Governor General?
Look that up, because it appears as though the Governor General, which I believe would be based out of England, could dissolve the Parliament, which would result in Canadians going to the polls to elect their local members of Parliament again. During that, Justin Trudeau would remain the PM during the election, and if the Liberals again won a majority, then he would remain the Prime Minister.
Yeah. So interesting. So Mary Simon is appointed by the Queen. Her appointer is the Monarch of Canada, on the advice of the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister kind of recommends who it's supposed to be, but their power is derived directly from Queen Elizabeth.
So that person can dissolve the Parliament. If they dissolve the Parliament, it's a complete revote. If Liberals are still in charge after the revote, then Justin Trudeau would remain the Prime Minister, which would defeat the whole purpose of why I'm sure they would do that. So it's I mean, maybe it's time for them to overthrow the government. They're making America look real good right now. So even though we are also an absolute shit show. Okay, so that's the truckers updates. Where are we at on numbers? We've got 11. Perfect. We're doing a 1-minute countdown, ladies and gentlemen. 1-minute countdown. If you see the YouTube on your screen, I'm sending. If you see this, please switch. Putting it up right now. We're gonna switch to only one YouTube in a second. We're getting rid of the second Be the Change one. Just because we have to be careful what we say on that page. 30-second countdown, going down to 30 seconds. We've got 12 people on that page right now. 12, count them 12. Please click. I feel like an auctioneer. We got 12, we got 12, we got 13. We shouldn't have 13. Number should be going down. Let's get those numbers down. Switch over to the other backup page. Suni's got a weird issue going on with her head right now. I don't know what's happening with her. Look at Suni. Are you pooping right now? You good? Hold on, let me pull it up. What is it?
Oh, she's watching the video I sent her of the chick eating the squid.
Oh god.
I sent it to you guys too.
We're down to 10. All right, 10.
Yeah, so also another side of it is I've got video here of Justin Trudeau leaving Parliament today. He was getting yelled at. I want to play it really quick because it's not like this is all happening. So it does have to get approved. It does have to be approved by the legislature to have these powers. Yeah, in the Parliament to have these powers. Here it is. Okay, so I've got it right here.
5, 4, 3.
And it's going to get approved. They're not going
2,
to stop it.
1. All right, we're switching it out of that YouTube right now.
Kill it. Kill it.
Oh, did I share my audio?
There we go.
Prime Minister once said, I quote, Mr. Speaker, the
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Cool.
invocation of the Emergencies Act for the first time in Canadian history is a damning indictment on the failure of this Prime Minister to address the situation. The Prime Minister once said, I quote, when a government asks its citizens to give up even a small portion of their liberty, it is not easy enough to say, trust us. That trust must be earned, it must be checked, and it must be renewed. These are his words. Canadians do not trust this Prime Minister. When will he stop undermining Canadians' rights and start renewing Canadians' trust?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker,
Who's that guy?
Canadians can trust
He's like the Speaker of the House or whatever.
Guys,
Like they-
Whatever you call
He
the
looks
speaker.
like he takes every video I see. He looks like he takes such joy in their government imploding. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, and to the next one. that's gonna
He's an
tear it.
appointed lord, I'm assuming.
It's so funny. He always looks happy no matter how shitty things
The
are.
science and the best
This
evidence
guy's
to
a
get us out of
total
this pandemic,
bitch
and
ass.
that includes getting vaccinated, Mr. Speaker. And contrary to what my colleague says, this
I don't
is
like
an
this
illegal
guy.
blockade. This illegal blockade is not about the vaccines or the mandates. It's about a very small organized group who are trying to upend our way of life.
Look at how he frames that, right? He denies that it is what it is about, what exactly they say it's about. These are how they play these psychological games, right? He says, no, it is not in fact about exactly what they say it's about. It's about a small group of people doing a thing. Oh, you can use that to describe a lot of things. You can use that to describe your enemies, terrorists. They're just a small group of people doing a thing.
Mr. Speaker, now we've made progress. We've
Like-
seen the Ambassador Bridge reopen, trying to upend our way of life, Mr. Speaker. Now
Yeah,
we've made
small group of people trying to upend our way of life, aka exactly the kind of stuff that was said about the
We've seen the
terrorists that got them to approve us going over there and doing our thing.
Ambassador Bridge reopened. We've seen Coots reopen. We've seen Surrey reopen. And Mr. Speaker, yesterday, yes, we invoked the Emergencies Act so that we can secure that progress and give law enforcement all of the tools they need. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Law enforcement that does not want to be doing what they're doing for the most
Well,
part.
we'll see if the Prime Minister answers this one. Every opportunity he has had
So that screaming is Justin Trudeau walking out of the building.
Yeah.
in Ottawa and around Canada, he has chosen to hide, to confront, and to escalate. His divisive conduct has been a lesson in abject failure. Blockades should come down. They are already coming down across this country. But now the Prime Minister has invoked the Emergencies Act to punish Canadians who, in his words, hold unacceptable views. Why is the Prime Minister punishing Canadians for their political views?
So this is just north of our border. We're seeing Australia. We're seeing Canada. We need to stop thinking that this kind of stuff can't happen in America.
Right.
True that.
It's pretty damn close to home.
Well, you can't say that. Like that's the thing is when you look at all these other countries and you can't say it can't come here when we run all on very similar infrastructure, just different names. So people get confused. People lose track of things on how it all works. Like I'm reading about the Canadian Civil Liberties Association. They went nuts today, going on their Twitter, like blasting the Parliament, telling them that they shouldn't pass this. But we're still waiting on them to actually vote on it, and we'll see what's going to happen. Now, the great thing, Kevin, I'm curious, what is your 2 cents like when we're talking about this? Because you have a lot of Americans that have gone up there and supported them too. A lot of American truckers that went across before the bridges really got packed up and stopped. What is your sense about America going up there and supporting them instead of doing something in your own states here?
No, tyranny of this level anywhere that it's presenting itself must be combated, and this is a good way to show it doesn't. Freedom does not have borders. The pursuit of individual sovereignty, individual autonomy, that is an ideal that does not have borders. We're supporting, because Canadians are very similar to us. There's a reason why we love our people to the north. Like we love Canadians because we share certain values, and to an extent. And so when this kind of stuff is happening anywhere on the continent, anywhere that we have an impact for, I am all for people voluntarily choosing nonviolent ways to support, right? I have no problem with America. If there's a revolution for freedom going on in another country, I have no problem with you, Casey, buying a plane ticket, taking your guns, and going over there and supporting their freedom fight.
They don't like my guns.
Like, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm saying that if there was a country undergoing a civil war,
Oh, okay.
like, I don't mind people going out and showing up for freedom, for liberty, because this is something that is going. You're seeing these protests pop up in Israel. You're seeing them pop up in Europe. You're seeing them pop up in Australia.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So there's a great video of a bunch of people doing the hawk outside of the Parliament in New Zealand.
Yes. Yeah, that was a crazy one too. And New Zealand is the other interesting thing, is because they just had practically turned in their Second Amendment, their gun rights, just because of the shooting a couple years ago. And now they're starting to realize that they need to fight for those freedoms instead of just turn things over really quickly.
Why do you think we haven't gotten to that level? Because like I look at some of those other places and I'm just like, why can't we do that? Why can't we take to the streets like that? You know, like, what do you think it is about us that we don't do it? Is it that we are too comfortable thinking that that will never happen here? Do you think that's what it is?
I have a belief, but Suni, go ahead. Go first.
Because I think we're so fixated on watching other countries fight against something that we don't fight against our own tyranny in our country until it's far too late. Like the freedom of speech is being violated. DHS put that out and you barely see anybody talking about it. That is your rights that are being snatched away, telling you can't talk about the E word or the coof, or you're going to be deemed a domestic terrorist. So I understand what you're saying, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think Americans are way too distracted on other countries that have nothing to do with us. We need to be fighting our own battles. People get mad at me, but it's like, I don't really care about Canada. When I'm sitting and watching my own citizens just sit back and put their feet up and watch Canada. What are you doing to fight back?
I think it is important what's going on in Canada because, like, he was saying is that it can happen here, right? So, like, if they see that the tactics that they're trying to use, like seizing people's bank accounts that are just protesting, right, that will make them back down. Who's to say that our government won't try that, right? So I think
they did that with January 6th. Well,
true, but I'm saying
had their stuff seized.
What I would like to see is, instead of us just hashtagging, Freedom Convoy, like, we need to be thinking about how we can do that here before it gets to that point, because it's getting to that point here, It's
happening here, but here's the problem, is a lot of people don't understand on how to get engaged here in Utah, not in Utah, but in the United States, because they're so focused on the president. And that is it. That is, like, if you look at the elections, they don't show up at the midterm elections. Everybody shows up to the presidential elections. And so everybody's fascinated about the president, but they don't really pay attention to anything going on locally. Like here in Utah, and next week we'll be going on our second convoy to be going on and doing things here in Utah. And you have the convoy here in the US that's going to DC, which I support them, but I don't know what you're trying to achieve.
It should be more state-based.
Yeah, the one to go into DC starts on the 23rd in Barstow, California, and then they're going to drive to DC. So they're doing stuff, and people are doing it, but the problem is that lack of engagement. People are not actually getting involved.
Well, so
this was wait until. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this was my point and Mama Russo said it very similar to the way that I talk about it, which is and I've wondered the same thing. I think it's absurd that we have not had more protests, more people speaking out. And part of it is we have had things slowly taken away from us. We had the lockdowns early, then we were given some freedom back. A lot of states were just fine. Like Texas, you wouldn't have even really known. Much areas, Florida, you don't really know. People had a choice. So things were taken away in such a slow way. And I think I said this last week that they were much more effective in keeping the American public silent because of them going slowly, meticulously taking one right at a time. Whereas in other countries, it's been just a complete totalitarian shutdown. Canada has been that way. You hear about people that have not been able to do anything really recreationally for 2 years. You've got Australia that in some parts are normal, some parts are absurd. The lockdowns have been going also for 2 years. You have police tracking you if you're outside of a 2-mile radius of your house. Whereas in the United States, it's just been little bits. And I think that we didn't notice it happening while other countries had it a little bit worse. And that would be my response to it.
Well, let's think of it this way. Why is it so important that they destroy the meta-narrative of the United States? Why is critical race theory? Why is critical feminist theory? Why are they so poisonous to our culture? Because they teach you that the meta-narratives that you're told are wrong, they're bad, they need to go away. When I'm talking meta-narratives, I'm talking about the idea of the founding fathers. I'm talking about the idea of people who founded our country not on some kind of ethno-state or some kind of like shared immutable characteristic, but on a set of ideals based around individual liberty and autonomy and a small government mindset. And there's a meta-narrative where we as Americans were used to be taught to idolize people who decided liberty was more important than death. But if you can castigate those people, if you can destroy their image, if you can destroy what they represent and completely make an entire generation ignorant to how valuable what they did was, you can get on your way to destroying the country. The reason why they have to go slow for us and not for other countries. What is Canada's backstory? Well, it was kind of French, it was kind of Canadian. The British bought it, and now they worship the Queen, right? Australia, it was a prison colony. Britain really never cared about them. They were part of the empire. They're never been a part of the kingdom. Bam. They're just dumped all their prisoners off. But we have a story and a meta-narrative that makes it so our government cannot treat us the way other governments do, because you can't just say we the Swedish people and mean us the homologous Swedes. There's an ideology behind we the American people.
Well, here's the question of the follow-up of why in the United States. I mean, we haven't had the protests, but the mandates are stopping. And in a lot of places, I mean, we had the LA football, the Rams parade today had like 1 million people. Nobody gave a crap. Like, oh, this is a city that a week and a half ago was freaking out to, accidentally look at a neighbor less than 6 feet away, not wearing a mask. And there they are outside, having a huge party. And the mandates are in a lot of the school districts coming off. Some places they're staying, but for the most part, the mandates are dropping in the United States. Why do you believe they are just now dropping?
The science has changed.
Well,
the political science, the polls.
Political science.
Yeah, the elections, the midterms.
Like, that's Americans accept breadcrumbs. Oh, well, they're lifting mandates, so everything's back. We're all good now, and nobody does anything. We're just gonna sit and watch Canada, watch Australia, watch Israel, all the other countries that we've been watching for almost a year now. And what have you done in your own country? I personally think it's counterproductive because people are so distracted by the house down the street burning. You don't give a damn about your own that's on fire right behind you.
It makes me sad because I've heard so many people say, well, this is our, they use the term, this is our new normal, this is the way life is going to be now. The fact that they have, that tells me they've given up, like they are now resigning themselves to the fact that this is what we have to get used to. And like you said, Russo, it's going to be little by little by little. And then next thing you know, you've given up everything,
So I think I do like your analogy, Suni, but I want to just twist it just a little bit. Because what if it's not the case of putting out the fire in your neighbor's house while yours is burning? What if it's putting out the fire in your neighbor's house because you know how flammable yours is? And we're looking at Canada because we are getting bad. But what just happened in Canada was never supposed to happen. And to a lot of Americans that are moderate, it's pretty terrifying what just happened up in Canada and what's currently going on and the way the truckers are getting castigated because a lot of people don't buy it.
Well, I mean, even so, putting their fire out before yours is still burning. Like, even if you do go help, we can't do anything for Canada. We cannot do anything besides sit here and have conversation about what's going on there. But we can prepare and fight right here. We can organize right here. There can be a concerted effort across the nation where some people are going to go on the trucker convoy. Some people are going to sit at home. Some people are going to go do this. But Americans are extremely complacent and comfortable because of what Casey said. They're waiting for the great white hope named Trump to come back and reverse everything. They're not going to do nothing themselves.
I agree with our lack of action. That's just who we are as Americans. I do think there is an importance in Americans.
I don't like that though, and I get what you're saying, but that's a sad
no,
reality.
it's not an excuse. It's valid. I'm saying that's the reason why it's not happening. As I said, I feel like frogs in a pot, but I do think there is there is the Canadian convoy. What's going on there is actually helping the United States freedoms, plain and simple, because it is showing the power that there is still power in the people to shut down a country. And I think they know that the United States has a capability of doing something like that if it shows success in Canada. So I think that I do think that it's got to do with the midterm elections that they're dropping these mandates. I do think it also has something to do with the fact that they don't want to cluster F like what's going on in Canada right now. So their success is also our success.
But what makes me kind of doubt your theory is the fact that nobody, like, they're not seeing what's going on in Canada and going, oh my gosh, the momentum is right now for us to all do this. You know, like, don't wait, because see, I feel like I feel like we want to wait and see what the outcome of Canada is going to be, and then we're going to be like, okay, now we'll start our own little convoy. You know, like, I don't think we have the balls. That's what
we don't.
The problem is,
I'm going to agree with you.
You're comparing a very small population to a very large population. You can't do. Canada took over a month to get this organized, so don't think it just happened overnight. Their GoFundMe was up 3 weeks before they even got in their trucks. They were gathering money and they were doing stuff well ahead of time. And that's what's been going on since this started in Canada. Americans have been trying to do it. But when you start looking, I said this a while ago, when you start looking at the population, you have Canada that has less than 40 million people in their country. Here in America, we have just under 400 million people. We are 10 times their country in population. You can't just bring a whole bunch of people together.
And our government operates differently.
And it doesn't go well. It won't.
I'm not saying like, hey, let's send out 400 million, Evites. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in your city, start it. In the next city, start it. Everybody take a city and start it. I'm not like think about like
I'm not saying to not do it in the United States. I think I agree with you. I think it still needs to get done, but I'm saying you cannot downplay the importance of the support on Canada. It's not like we're just going good for Canadians. They are showing something to the world that is causing governments to go, I do not want this to happen in Australia and America and these things. I do think that there is something to what Canada is doing that has led to some of the mandates lifting in the United States. I think that you have to look at that. It's got to do with the election mixed with, we don't want this gigantic trucker convoy to come through, stop us. We don't want even more supply chain issues than we already have. We are seeing the fact that they are seeing success with it there. The more successful they are, the longer they fight until they get what they want. It's the epitome of not having to do something while knowing it's an option, just like showing military power. You want to win a war without ever having to use your hydrogen bomb. Them knowing you have it is just as dangerous than actually using it.
I'm going to say this. I mean, I have lived in other countries, and I will tell you, they look to us for what we do, right? Not the other way around. Agreed. So the minute we're looking to another country to see what they do, to set the example, it's a problem.
I get it.
We're supposed to set the standard, not the other country.
That's why I say.
Agree. But
Casey, go ahead.
So when we're talking about getting together and doing something, right? I've already did many videos on Utah's already doing it. What are you guys seeing in your states? What are you guys encouraging in your states to do that?
I do. So I'm part of the medical freedom rallies that go on here that we've done. Southwest Airlines, we've done American Airlines, we've done Second Amendment rallies. We have been going to them. We do a Patriot Walk, where we just get together just to get like-minded people together. So yeah, we are doing stuff, and I encourage people to do little things more.
We need to promote that more.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
That's where I see the difference. Is a lot of people get on these platforms and will just say, "Oh yeah, this would be so awesome," but they don't really do anything, and they're not engaged and they're not involved. It's all talk, no action. Right. And we have to start promoting those things. Like, that's why I spent all day long at a convoy here in Utah. And we're going to be doing it again next week. And those are the things that we need to be promoting and touting and putting it up there and sharing our opinion. Like, do I think the DC one's good idea? No, but I still support you. Go do your thing. I won't be doing it. I was all in at first for thought. And then once I thought about it, it doesn't make sense to me. But other states need to be promoted. I know many other states are already planning to join the DC one because they have set up organizers in each state. to organize it to meet up in the middle of the country on their way to DC. Those are the things that need to be talked about and touted and brought up in front of people so they know where they can get involved.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Go ahead.
can
Mom.
we do something like on our Facebook page and start putting groups that we all know about individually and have people add to that list so people can start getting connected in their individual states? Why don't we do something? We're called Be the Change, right? Let's do that.
We can.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So we also have we have a page where we're aggregating email content or email addresses where we haven't actually put it out there yet. This is the page that we have been talking about where we will populate it with information for who your local officials are, local elected officials, who you can write, their addresses, how to actually use your voice on a local level, who they are, and then eventually, if we can launch it by 22 election, I don't think we will, in terms of information about the people that you're voting for. We'll do that, but for the most part, at least a way to take action. That page is where we can also aggregate the ability to email something like this. So if you go right now to End the Mandate USA, endthemandateusa.com, I'll put it up, and enter your information in there. That is a way that we can start organizing state by state. We just did this. It's just a landing page, and it will be a way where we'll be able to put maybe an email for groups. If we can aggregate the email off Facebook groups, it's not the hardest thing in the world to be able to do that. So go to Buy the Dip on American Car Companies. endthemandateusa.com. Very simple. So
Yes.
you got to go to.
Signed up.
I also just want to say again, I say this all the time, knock doors. Just knock on doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is the easiest way to find out how your community feels about things, to get involved with your community, to know your community, is just knock the doors in your community, right? Like reach out to whatever your political affiliation is. I don't care. Reach out to them, speak to them, figure out what kind of local initiatives are going on, and just knock on people's doors. It's so simple.
So we'll continue to post on Truth Will Say Free, but I think what we'll do is, as we can see, because there is some Facebook groups that do have it start being planned. If we can get any of that information and aggregate it, we'll send it out in email or links at least for the Facebook groups in each state where that's going, so you guys can join along. What do you think?
We'll probably
Casey?
have to trust Telegram more than Facebook, but yes,
That too. Yeah.
Facebook is a pain in the butt, just from regulatory what they'll do to any sites, but we can do it. The biggest problem is with Facebook is you get some infiltrators that come into the group and they start talking like all the violence and stuff like that, and then it gives Facebook a reason to bring down the page, and that's why they sucks.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right, so we got that. Good idea, Mo. I'll leave that up on the screen for a little bit. All 100 and something people watching right now, just go ahead and make sure you just go to it. All it is first name, last name, and email address. And this will be just a way to communicate and share information that we find that can let you know how to be a part of something going on in your local area. And soon it will be an aggregate of content to know your local officials. Just an easy way to search and figure out, if you're from Missouri and you want to know who your St. Louis, District 3 mayor is, or whatever the heck it is. So you can easily write that person and understand, what's going on in your local area. We'll do that because we talk about how do you actually have local effect and change. You have to actually know who your local representatives are. So that'll be coming soon. Go to endthemandateusa.com.
We've already had 3 people put in their information.
I think one of those was Mo, and probably the other one was Suni, and then the other one was Kevin. Cool.
No.
Let's see. Comments pinned, it looks like. Thanks, Eric. What do we got? Let's go ahead and talk Durham Report. That's probably the number one thing going on right now if you're into conservative politics. I know you guys been looking at the actual. Suni, where did you get that link, or do you have a link to the whole report? Because that's been my issue. Is I have only been hearing conservative pundits talk about how this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Hillary's going to be in jail forever. We're going to realize that the government's completely corrupt. The report is ready, and we don't actually have it to show. So
I have it. It's in the group chat.
What?
I put it in there again.
Yeah.
Is that the whole one? Is that the whole Durham Report?
Until Trump opened his mouth, they actually had people on the left wanting arrest too.
How many pages is it?
I think it's about 15.
That's it?
13 pages. 13
Wait a minute.
pages.
We've been waiting all this time for 13 pages.
Well, they have different things that they have been declassifying. There's different parts coming out of it, and this one is specifically talking about Michael Sussman and how he acted to facilitate the spying of Trump and his campaign. Which I read through it.
That link didn't work.
Yeah, it was.
It's
it
in
was
the group chat.
Here.
Christine sent it already.
Here, I'll throw it in the private chat right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll shoot. Can we share this with people? Like, we could probably share it with people, right?
Why not? Why not?
Okay. So Eric said most of the Durham Report is still classified. So this is the unclassified part that has been released. All right, that makes sense.
Which, in the amount of classification in it says to me that there's even more stuff going on here, which is why I'm so worried about the White House part, because there's like higher level, almost espionage level stuff to that.
There can be, absolutely.
Yeah. So anybody want to explain? I know that some of you guys have already looked at this document earlier when I was, wailing on my glutes at the gym.
Oh, that's what you were wailing on.
Yeah, that's what I was wailing on. Does anybody want to kind of explain some of the stuff? I know you guys were chatting back and forth, some of the big things in there that are actual major issues to show that this is a solid piece of effery that we can read.
Well, this part right here should cause alarm to a lot of people.
What does it say?
They were able to pretty much hack White House government website to track interference with data. You would think that would be the most secure server on planet Earth, but it's not. It's really not. And it's just crazy how I was asking Casey this when we were talking about it. What other way can you get this type of access other than through one of the 3-letter agencies?
That's what I'm saying.
How do you hack the whitehouse.gov servers? Like, how does that happen? And when you go up further, like at the beginning, it says that who hired these people? Clinton's campaign hired these people to do exactly what they did. Their invoices. There's so much proof. I'm actually floored by this. Do I think anything's going to happen to her? Fuck no. They're going to get the people underneath her. But all this evidence to prove that it came from her and her campaign, it's mind blowing. I really recommend for people to go read this. It's a really short read. I read it as soon as I got it.
I'll call it right now. Whoever it is that they go after, they didn't kill themselves.
What's like the classified nature of it, and I have to be careful what I personally say on this topic, but there is the whitehouse.gov part. The fact that that they were able to pull personal information off a server says to me that they weren't using the standard whitehouse.gov. Mm-hmm. They were using a different whitehouse.gov, which would suggest other avenues of infiltration. Like this is the problem is that Donald Trump got involved with it, and I can't blame him. It involves him, but up until that point, this was put out and people were calling, like Democrats were calling on indictments for this. Like the Democrats want people arrested for this. And then he got involved and it just, all of a sudden it became such a partisan issue that, you cannot be a Democrat and support this because then you're by proxy supporting Trump. And we all know that is basically like the most inhuman thing a human being can possibly do.
Just wild. I'm just highlighting all the points that I was just like, what the? Yeah. And this is not. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And
this is something I need to protest about.
And with Biden having a 52% no rehire poll by CNN by Democrats that voted for him, this could be the first time in modern history that you've got a sitting president that has a risk of losing the Democratic nomination. And in recent weeks, people have kind of chattered about Hillary Clinton possibly getting back into politics. This should end that for her, but as Suni said, nobody gives a shit. They don't. It's not going to end it for her.
The Democrats are going to use this like they did with Russiagate and say, hey, Republicans are going on a smear campaign against Hillary Clinton, and it's going to make people want to vote for her even more because they feel like Republicans are doing something bad. They're going to find some way to spin this so that no accountability comes their way. For this to have gone on in 2016, and they've known about this since then, and it's 2022. What the fuck?
I don't see that she would get enough votes. Enough people hate her that I don't see that she would get enough votes. I think it's setting the stage to bring somebody else in, and them just to come in and slaughter Hillary in debates and get some fans, and that's probably what it will be.
I don't know.
The Democrats have nobody palatable right now.
Tulsi Gabbard, she's not enough people like her. Kamala Harris, people hate her. The only one that has a fighting chance is Hillary Clinton, because people hate Donald Trump more. They're going to go on a smear campaign. Watch what I tell you. This election cycle in 2024 is going to be lit. I'm excited to watch it.
It's going to be wild.
If we sell the country.
But I don't think that they can. I think that they will run her again. I think that that's the worst option, because like they seem to forget that people under the age of 40 fucking hate Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
Like absolutely detest her. There's a reason she lost to Donald Trump.
But think about the uninformed voter, 18, coming out of high school, college students that have been indoctrinated for the past 4 years.
Everybody that's LGBTQ.
She broke the glass ceiling. The feminist movement is going to kick the fuck in. You're gonna have Beyonce is gonna go back on the campaign trail for her. Jay-Z back on the campaign trail for her. They're gonna go overboard. I'm telling you, it's gonna be woman versus man.
Because you want to know what's going to happen with feminism? What's currently in feminism? The TERFs and the trans women are butting heads right now, really bad, because of course, naturally, this was always going to happen. There is a giant cultural rift that is going to open up that would completely destroy the ideology. Young people hate shit libs, neo-libs. They hate people like Hillary Clinton. If she comes out, you can't be a feminist in her position anymore, because you either have to be a pro-LGBT feminist, in which case you are offending all women who think there's actually something unique about being a woman, and just saying you're a woman and cutting your dick off doesn't change you. But there is a legitimate culture war going on between feminists that believe being a woman is special and feminists that believe that being a woman is all about, you know, what kind of surgeries you've had and how many hormones you take.
Who's got the national stage? Because that's all that matters in this America.
The social justice movement cares about the LGBTs.
Exactly. Women like me, Mo, who are like, you're not a woman. You don't get to replace me. You're a man. You got a dick and balls. We're the silent majority. Because a lot of women won't speak out on these topics for fear of offending LGBTQ. And quite naturally, everybody knows I don't give a fuck who I offend. You're not a woman. So until we have the national stage to showcase, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Did you see Adele got all that shit because she talked about how great it was to be a woman at that awards show, and she's like,
that makes her point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that proves the point. I agree with you. And to be clear with Mama Russo, it's not the first time. I should have stated the first time that somebody will lose, that he could actually lose. Carter didn't lose. It just was was it 76 or 80? It just took a while. He did not concede until late. Who was he running against? It was no. It was was it Kennedy? Yeah.
This is how I feel.
Yeah,
we already know their playbook as people on the right. This is for influencers. This is for campaign managers. You already know their playbook. You watch 4 years of Trump. You watch a year and a half or 2 years plus of Hillary's campaign. You know their playbook. Now it's time for us to come together, start being strategic about the stuff we put out. I'm serious, man. If there is any fighting chance that America has, it should have started a long time ago, but you need to start right freaking now. Pay attention to politics, pay attention to what's going on in the primaries, your local government, and get involved. They win every time because of how ignorant we are when it comes to culture and everything else.
I could not agree with you more on that. And that's like the thing though, is that the Democrats are about, they know the writings on the wall. They're looking at their list of who can we run, right? The Republicans have quite a few potential candidates that have a lot of popular support. Like the Republicans are very strong going into this next election. The Libertarians, if Dave Smith gets to be in his position, I believe, Like the libertarians could be looking at 5 to 10% legitimately because of how angry people are at the two-party system. The Democrats are, because here's the thing. Libertarians aren't competing with Democrats on this one because the Democrats have no one to fucking run. They have, it is just like a dead baby raccoon in the bottom of a dumpster fire, all of their candidates at this point.
Well, and you also have a huge amount of people that are retiring from Congress from the Democrats too. I think it's 27 or 28 seats they're retiring this year. Well, for 2022.
Yeah,
So that's
true.
setting up even more.
Another important
part that party apart.
But are they going to put in rhinos, or are they going to put in actual America First candidates?
No, I'm talking about the Democratic Party.
It won't matter.
27 or 28 seats is the Democratic Party retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
We gotta
lot. There's a
come up
lot
with
of
that
people.
many people.
The truckers. This is another huge part. It's the working class right now in America. The Democrats. What is so important about Canada? What is so important about the truckers specifically? This is the working class. When you talk unions, when you talk blue collar workers, the blue collar workers in America that have traditionally voted blue are watching these Democrats sell out the working class that they are so strongly attached to for power. And it's the Democrats are they're about to go through a crisis of identity, and they're going through it right now.
Let me throw.
But I have no doubt the Republicans can blow this.
Let me throw a wild card in there, okay?
Yeah.
Forget about Hillary. What about Big Mike? Okay, what if Big Mike
Michelle
runs?
Obama?
Yeah, dude. If Big Mike runs,
God.
it's over. It's over.
We're going to have the first tranny. Good God.
Yep.
Good Lord. The first tranny in the White House. America's going to shit if her ass gets in. I will stay my black ass right here.
That's the one we really got to be worried about. Like, maybe we need to take our eyes off of Hillary Clinton. If Michelle Obama runs,
Obamatron. Sorry, she's a Decepticon.
Michael.
She is Obamatron.
Michael,
So my question:
if she throws her dick in the ring, we're in trouble. Okay, let me tell you.
if she throws her Snoop D-O-double-G in the ring, so my thought is, first off, I think Tulsi Gabbard is likable by more people on the right. Tulsi Gabbard won't ever get the DNC nomination because the DNC doesn't like the fact that she actually plays by rules of the people. So she doesn't have a chance to win. They'll find a way to make sure that doesn't happen. Michelle Obama, however, is a possibility, and that is scary as shit because she has the ability to have the marketing behind her. That she's got this loving adoration by the left.
She's got Barack.
Right.
She's got Barack.
Yeah.
You're misgendering him. All right. It's not a her. It's a him.
My bad.
His pronouns are he, him, and it.
I hope the pronouns are
it's
never president.
He said Obamatron.
Man.
I told you I interviewed her. I interviewed
Him.
Michelle's brother.
For real?
One time. I didn't know who it was. I was interviewing Rick Pitino and her brother because he's the coach of Oregon State basketball, and Oregon State was in the College World Series. I interviewed them both, and I was like, I just got to interview Rick Pitino. That's awesome. And then like, you do know who the other person was? I was like, yeah, some tall dude that's the head coach of Oregon State. And they're like, look at his face. And I was like, I don't get it.
That could be
like,
Michelle Obama's twin brother.
do you see Michelle Obama there? I was like, oh my God, is that
Identical twin.
It was Obama's brother. I didn't even know it was Michelle's brother,
shit.
and they look identical.
I mean, she is the celebrity class again. I don't know, because there's just the problem is that the Democratic Party itself is a cancer, and like the policies itself are having such an impact. Like I said, the working class aspect of this, the unions were the Democrats' biggest supporters for 80 years. Unions have been the Democrats' biggest supporters, and they are currently throwing non-public sector unions under the bus all across this country. They are destroying their base. I don't know who they can run. That middle America and working class America is not going to detest, and that's who they need to win back.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say that she could look. This country's been a shit show from 19 and beyond. Hell, 2016 and beyond. I'm gonna be watching Michelle Obama. Man,
I'm
If-
telling you.
If he starts to run, I'm not coming back to the States. You can quote me on that right here. Run the clip back.
Oh my gosh, Sam Brinton. You guys know Sam Brinton, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling
Nope.
up a good image.
Oh my gosh, Suni, you're gonna love him. He's an employee in.
She knows who it is. She just doesn't know the name. Yeah, she'll know who it is when she sees it.
Yo,
Sing for
Michelle's
2023,
brother really is
no.
her twin.
Oh, I know. It's creepy.
They's both boys.
Brilliant
Oh,
gender fluid
hell
nuclear
no.
expert.
You know
and-
what? I did a TikTok about this fucking weirdo, and TikTok was like, you're not allowed to bully these its around here. I'm like, why not?
Oh,
He's
this shit's
asking for
getting
it.
pulled quick.
So you know what? If you want to hire a gender fluid person, and great. If you want them to be
No.
high ranking, you do you. Honestly, that's my perspective. But this guy is not just the everyday gender fluid person. He is
Bruh,
absolutely.
they don't need to be nowhere
over the
near
top.
our government.
Right.
No.
This guy literally. I mean, he calls Fauci daddy. He has he's got all these photos of him doing like wearing latex and being an S&M and BDSM. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
You know what's,
Weird.
you know what's sadder? People just laugh. Look at this weirdo. He's the head of the nuclear parts of our government, and it's funny. And it's like, no, it's not. You are mentally ill. Gender fluid.
The problem
No.
that we run into is that he is also incredibly brilliant. And one of the problems, Jordan Peterson actually talked about this in his latest Joe Rogan. The issue is that they're the LGBT is the creative class, but they're basically getting abused at a young age. They are getting targeted by people who are basically predator prey scenario. You have teachers that in California, there's currently a lawsuit around this. Teachers that are currently sitting in classrooms targeting students they believe to be LGBTQ to then influence towards it. And so it's like
Log cabin group. Do your research.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized.
no,
who he is.
this was a different-ish situation.
No, but they push for the same thing in California.
But what I'm saying is that there's like psychologically speaking, the creative classes, you're gonna find this in people, and these are the people that come up with the stuff that
Xerxes.
yeah.
Xerxes. This is our new nuclear. Our new head of the nuclear system.
I am a
That's what it looks like.
Oh, stop.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, that was a good one. You should put that out as a meme. That was funny.
But
Something wrong with your head, Russo.
I all of a sudden I looked at that one picture. I was like, I know who
that's
he is.
Xerxes. I know where it's, but the point being is that we need the most creative minds possible to help us take steps into the future. The problem is as a society, we have, like you've said, mental illness is involved with this.
I kind of take issue with that. Heterosexual people are just as creative and smart as they are. The brilliant minds, we just leave them behind because I'm going to be honest. No political group really pays attention to the inner city. And you have some fucking brilliant ass kids there.
Absolutely. Well, the problem is
why
that
can't we compete?
Yeah. And that's fair. Well, the problem is because you have people going into the inner city helping people achieve their musical dreams or sports dreams, aka here, let me help you win the lottery, as opposed to saying here's a freaking physics textbook, here's a chemistry or a biology textbook, go be the next great intellectual mind.
Yeah, go be the next Ben Carson. No, it's not sexy enough. No.
He's sexy as fuck. I'm sorry.
Instead, they get handed a football or a basketball.
Yeah.
Run fast. Run fast. Go get brain trauma.
But Suni, I am with you on like there is a mental health aspect to quite a bit, but it's a different kind of creativity, and it's not to say that all members of the creative group are these people, or they constitute all of them. It's just that a lot of them happen to be within the group of the creative among us.
Do you have to be super intelligent, or do you just need strength in numbers of people?
What are we
Well,
talking
that's
about?
different.
I think strength in numbers and people is you need it. It's important, but you need intelligence to take that even further. If you don't have it, then you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
Fair. Could understand that.
So that's a good segue. Let's get into the. I don't think Gully Bull or whatever his name is. I don't think
I haven't seen his face show up.
If you're here, let us know. But we're gonna talk.
we
Crack
would have
pipes.
already said it.
Where did you?
We've been saying a lot of stuff that he would be pissed about.
Yeah, I know. Did you, Suni? Did you resend it, or did you just have it able to pull up?
I think I resent it.
Where do you resend it to? So last week we talked obviously about the free crack pipe program that's happening under the Biden administration. Talked about, there were some questions on what was actually given and what was it. But regardless, we were like, well, even if it's not crack pipes, they're giving things to clean and sanitize the crack pipes. This is the world's largest enabling system, $30 million of tax dollars being sent. Anyways, we had an angry message from Gully Bull himself. And so we did some research, and there's no evidence to say that you don't get it. You don't get the crack pipes. They just said that we're not the ones supplying them per se. Sometimes it's the local areas, but we are not. That is not what we're doing. Anyways, one of Suni's followers went and got one, wanted to see what it was, and there is your tube, your crack pipe, on top of all the other syringes and stuff that's in here. So, in fact, Jen Psaki, I know, said that it was a lie. It's not a lie.
She's got to circle back to her lie. I almost said
When
the
is
bad
she
word.
leaving? When is
Thank
she
you.
leaving?
Yeah,
She
seriously.
makes her face just hurts my eyes.
I
Whatever
thought
happened
I
to
thought
her,
she was stepping down a long time ago.
Well, she announced like a year in advance, like she gave a year's notice. But you know what I think? I think they can't find anybody to replace her. Is what
Who
it
would
is.
want to?
Because they asked her on I think it was Joy Behar on The View asked her. So is it true that you're leaving? And she was like, she kind of of course, like she danced around, like she dances around everything, and didn't answer the question because I think she's like, yeah, I want to get the fuck out of here, but I can't find her.
Yeah, like I want to be a fly on the wall when she goes to bed every night, where she's like, "What the fuck am I doing?
Ew,
Why am I doing this?" She can't honestly think that it's not that she's not doing a good or bad job. It's just the fact that she has entered the biggest shit show in history. At least
See how nice
Kayleigh
you are?
What?
You extend so much grace to people that don't deserve it.
Oh no,
man.
she's a piece of shit. No, I fully think she's a piece of shit, but I do think that I don't think there is no way to do a good job under this president, under this administration.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
Under this particular presidential administration.
Why not?
No.
You can get on there and be like, look, guys, everything you just came here to question me about is true.
Yeah.
Close the book, close up shop.
Well, that was
Dooney, come back to reality. Our government doesn't tell the truth.
Close the
You
book.
need to get up there and be like, look, I don't know where the president doesn't know where the fuck his sentences are going to end. How do I know what his policies are?
You're
Okay,
right,
so
Fox
here we
News.
go.
Okay, he is going through dementia. I know it. We all know it. Shut down shop. Like, why not? That's a good job, right?
No, I agree
maybe
that,
we
but she
should
wouldn't
shut down
have the
federal
job very
government
long.
for a
She'd be
while.
good. Yeah, and I would. That's kind of like what's her face, Tafoya. To Michelle Tafoya is like, she's like after the Super Bowl, she's like, well, guys, I'm out. I'm actually going to go be able to speak up for myself in the conservative party.
Yes.
I don't think anybody even knew
Did she
was
really?
conservative.
Yeah.
Michelle Tafoya retired. She's going to work in politics for conservatives.
Good for her.
Right. So in terms of, you got that the girl that fills in for Jen Psaki, the younger black girl.
Oh, the Wakanda Forever girl. She looks like the chick from Wakanda.
Now that actually shows you that somehow Psaki does do a better job than her. That girl legit, when they ask her questions, she's just like,
she's stressed. She's like, she's so stressed.
when you look at the numbers, it's just clearly not. Next question.
Right, and I'm like to the TV. I'm like, girl, flip through the notebook so you look legit.
So you
flip
look
through
like
the
you're
notebook.
doing something. She just she is a deer in headlights, and it's bless her soul. So that is doing a really bad job. Jen Psaki is just being the devil's, I guess mail carrier, delivering the mail for the devil. But yeah, that poor black girl, she struggles. She is a struggler.
Yeah.
Hey, off
It's a
topic.
terrible job.
Off topic. Speaking of terrible jobs, I just read a headline. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but Lizzo just admitted she has a coochie piercing. Can we have a moment of silence for the man who had to get in between
Could be
that
a girl.
triple roast beef pastrami sandwich to put a piercing on there?
Please stop
Woo!
describing it.
Woo!
How
Hey, look. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was saying, how big of a piercing is it? Because if that thing's got to be big, I feel like she's got to literally be like, all right, we're putting this. All right, attach it to side A and to side B. I feel like one of those TikToks. Bow, 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 bow. I need to like change into something different. Anyways,
Jesus Christ! It's
She
probably,
turned to the guy doing it at the start. He goes, she's like, "Don't try no funny business while you're down there." He's like, "Oh, trust me."
I'm not.
hey, bro, you don't need to wear the KN95 mask. It's cool. Like, and then he's like, "No, we're good. It literally smells like a fish market right now. This is just."
Well, you
Going
know,
straight
Lizzo.
African.
Did you
Lizzo thinks that cameras are racist, right? You guys saw that Super Bowl
Cameras are
commercial where
racist?
cameras are racist now,
Oh yeah,
Everything
yeah,
is-
yeah. The
Everything
Pixel
is
commercial.
racist.
right? And so it's her singing, and it's like, I'm dark skinned and I have just never been able to capture my, the true essence of myself. Mind you, the light is behind this dumbass. I did a live demonstrating it. The light is behind you, bitch. You need it on you because you're dark. But apparently this camera helps darker complected people and wide and all outside people capture better. Because they had Lizzo right at the end with her shoulder mask about this big. I'm telling you, they had to widen the picture out for her ass for this Google Pixel phone. You should look at the commercial. I thought it was funny as shit.
I would be sold on the camera if her legs were open and I could see that damn piercing.
No!
Then you could sell me the camera.
I remember watching that commercial and I was legit sitting there. I was like, are cameras racist now too?
Yeah.
Like, holy
Nah,
crap,
she
everything is
look. When
racist.
was that? When was that, Russo?
I don't know, but how can you have stretch marks right there?
Look, you want to see something better? This is actually an
She's pretty
unedited
fat.
photo of her.
Oh
Let's look at
God,
this
what are we
one.
gonna?
Look,
We're turning into a competition of showing pictures of
They
Lizzo.
did that. She had to get a rectangle.
Shit.
What is that?
Go to her
Everybody else's
Instagram.
portrait, she's like widescreen.
No, dude, go to her Instagram. I ain't seen that many rolls.
Did you see the one where she
Lost
made
Thanksgiving.
where she made the pizza and she was eating it and she burnt it and she still ate it anyways and it was like harder than a cracker? She's like,
Everybody
"Oh,
else
when
knows
you're
what
hungry,
we're
I mean."
Freaking slurs up in here.
She dipped it in ranch dressing and it made it all better. And it's like, oh my God.
Just like her fake wannabe a veggie hot dog she was eating, and she had a whole metal tin. She just brought this nasty, bro. It was like gluttony on 10. She's like dipping it in, what do you call it? Dang, what sauerkraut, and shoving it in her mouth. And she's like, "This is my vegan diet." I was like, "What diet? What are you eating?"
Did y'all see her Super Bowl outfit?
Was her butt hanging out? Because if it was, I'm good.
Go to her Instagram page and just look at it because I'm pretty sure she was like one of the cheerleaders in the halftime show.
I should have had her ass out there. But Casey was
Where is
right.
it?
They need more reinforcements for that. She would have broke the stage.
God,
I gotta confirm it's me to log in. What the hell happened to my Instagram?
You
got
hacked.
hacked. And her Instagram name is Lizzo B. Eaton. Like, what?
Ew, who would eat that?
Oh, by the way, so the invasion of Russia by Russia of Ukraine is supposed to be occurring in I think they're 6 hours ahead of me here, so it could be occurring anytime soon.
Oh, it's gonna be more than 6. They're gonna be like 8 or so. 6 would be the UK.
Okay, because they said, I think the intel said 3 a.m. So
yeah, we'll see.
I guess the invasion's going on. Let's check because of course they did. Of course they're trying false flag operations, and of course our State Department was, oh, they're gonna try false flags. Of course they're gonna try false flags. It's like the easiest trick in the freaking book.
Yeah, I when it comes to this, there's so many things that I question with this. You don't even know what's true anymore when it comes.
Do you
to
think
these
America
things.
should get involved?
No.
Good.
No.
Good.
No. God damn it!
No, not that.
Right.
Not that. That wasn't that.
Good. Right. Take that off my screen.
Why would you do that?
Outfit. Do the one where she's fully naked.
Russo, you're out of here, bro. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God! No, you. No,
Why would
no,
you do that to us?
No, don't pull this up. I can see it. You better not. No.
Hey. Woo! If that dress could talk, it'd be like.
it's got the NFL stuff on it. If that dress could talk, it'd be 1st and 10. Never fucking do this to me again. That's what it would be saying.
Foul.
All right, we're done. We're
All
done
right,
talking
Tootie,
about
it's off
Lizzo.
the screen.
No, it's
Body
not.
shaming.
Don't
Y'all are
worry.
better than that. Okay, agreed. But
Listen, the crowd
Lizzo,
loves it.
Listen,
It's
she's fat
comedy.
and nasty.
Comedy's
Come
comedy
on.
is comedy.
the thing with Lizzo, and I'm with I get body shaming is, whatever, but Lizzo is so left and so pro V, and she did this whole thing where she was trying to get in shape and then she failed, and instead of being like, I failed, she's like, you know what? It's more about being happy and fat, and she's literally talking to people about how to kill themselves by being fat. So you know what? It's not body shaming, it's stupidity shaming. And it's creating a culture of death, obesity, and not being able to fight COVID. So until she writes a hip hop song about I am a comorbidity, I really don't care about her.
Here's the thing: is it's not just she's not just saying I'm happy to be fat. Her and her movement, what they say is it's healthy, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's no health risks
Exactly.
associated, and that's outright lying. That's promoting deadly misinformation. If you want,
Do you know who told her that?
Misinformation.
Fauci.
Tess Holiday?
Fauci was like,
Oh.
no, this is healthy. This is healthy. It's healthy. Okay.
But anyway,
On a better note,
What's it?
Dr. Oz, in his latest poll just released, he is leading Pennsylvania 27%. The next closest is 15.9.
hey, he's good and conservative. Let's go.
No, he's not. Pennsylvania, get your
He's with
shit
Adam
together.
Carolla constantly. He's
Uh,
like he and Adam Carolla are like best friends.
You know what I'm confused about? So like
No.
now he's talking about like how it's important. Like he was interviewing, what was that guy, Jordan Peterson, the doctor that went on Joe's show. And
You mean my hero, my savior, my Lord and
right.
Savior, Jordan,
I love that
Jordan
guy,
B.
man.
Peter
I love
Christ.
that guy. Anyways, I remember when Dr. Oz was convincing Wendy Williams to get the shot, and now he's completely changed his tune.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, does nobody remember that you were like completely on
telling
the
you.
other side?
You can go back and see so many things that he's changed his tune on.
Yeah, no,
On
it's no joke that he does a show every week with Adam Carolla, who is the most ardent against this. Adam Carolla has Mark Garagos on his show.
You're thinking of Dr. Drew Pinsky. This is
Dr.
Dr. Oz.
Fuck, I am thinking of Dr.
Oh.
Drew.
I'm like, what in the
apologize,
world
guys.
are you talking about?
I apologize. I had the wrong doctor.
But Dr.
still.
Speaking of Dr. Drew, he still thinks people should get the shot. Like he's still
He says he
pro-shot.
wants it as a choice. He
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
Yeah,
he
think you have to
says
get
he
it.
thinks people. He says it should be a choice. He's entirely anti-mandate, which is all I ask.
But
If I was my doctor,
he still
I say no.
recommend. He didn't. And not only does he, the choice is great. He still recommends it. He was talking to the comedian that passed out, cracked her skull on the stage,
Mhm.
and she was going, "Is there something to this?" And he goes, "Yes, 2 to 3 weeks is where I see the most amount of patients where this is happening. But when you look at the risk reward, I still suggest people get this shot."
And he's wrong.
He's wrong.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with them having the conversation. I'm cool with the doctor being like, it's a choice. But when you are literally admitting all the issues at 2 to 3 weeks and saying that yes, it was probably this woman who fell like an asshat on stage after making a joke, who she's been very interesting to hear speak afterwards, and then now he legit acknowledged it's part of the jab and then still recommended it. No.
Dark comedy because she was in the middle of a bit about how stupid the anti people are.
Yeah.
She was in the middle of a joke about
she goes,
that. How
clearly
stupid people are.
her last
And
words
God
were
was
clearly
like, nope.
Yeah, she's like, I've had all these things and I still get my period. And then she ends it with, and she's like, clearly God loves me more than you, or something like that. And then
Yeah.
God's like,
And then
disagree. I'm just kidding.
And then
God
she,
loves
then she
Speaking
did
of-
a- and then she did a Mary J. Blige and just passed out.
Speaking of dark humor, do you guys remember when what's his name? Rogan decided to call black people apes?
yeah.
Kind of
It's
vaguely.
Planet of the Apes bit.
Vaguely?
I vaguely remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, I have a cool video that really would help his case. I just wanted to
I
help
thought
Joe
it
Rogan.
was a funny bit.
Let's
honestly.
see it. Let's see
You
it.
did? So you think it's funny to compare black people to apes?
I think jokes are funny and can be
No,
funny.
no, I didn't ask you that. Don't
Yeah.
skirt around the question. Do you
I
think
think
it's funny
jokes
to
are funny.
compare black people to apes?
I would never do it because I don't believe in it, and that's part of why it's a joke.
Wait, what?
It's a joke for a reason because it's not true. It's not a truth.
Well, he admitted that it was a crappy joke right at. We're
Yeah.
not getting back into this subject.
I remembered seeing it live.
Why
It was like
not?
10 years ago. I remembered laughing at it like 10 years ago.
Hey, look, I'm just helping Joe Rogan. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up.
While you pull it
I'm
up, I
helping Joe
just got a
Rogan.
notice from Instagram. Hi, hashtag be the change. It looks like your account was disabled by mistake. Your account has been reactivated, and you should now be able to log in. We're sorry for any inconvenience. It's funny.
What the freak? Wow, it won't let me download the video.
I thought that was a picture of Lizzo driving her car through crowds to get
I
to
thought
a
it was
fast
her
food restaurant.
piercing. I thought it was
Yeah.
Lizzo's piercing.
You
What kind
guys
of
are
piercing do you
gross.
want, Lizzo?
Oh
You
my
want a
God.
Toyota Corolla or you want a VW Bug?
Oh.
Anyways,
That
all right,
is
let's end it with the V being postponed 6 month to 5-year-olds. So they're still doing the testing, but they were supposed to have a hearing yesterday, February 15th, or is that today? I don't know. Today, saying today's the day the FDA was supposed to hear Pfizer's plea. Well, they decided to postpone it because they said they did not have enough information with the amount of cases and the ability for them to look at it. It seems as though they need to postpone the hearing, which could only really mean one thing. And if you actually have a brain or think logically, means that they need to find a way to spin their data a little bit more before they actually present it to the FDA. Anyways, the thing that I find fascinating is, as I follow the Unbiased Science Pod, is the amount of people outraged that they are not able to get their 6 month to 5-year-old schmaxkinated.
Yep.
They think this is the end of the world. These are clearly the people. If the FDA, which is one of the most corrupt, crooked organizations ever created in this friggin' country, wants to take a little bit more time on this, and these people still want to feed it to their children, they're completely lost at this point. They've lost.
Call
their friggin' mind.
CPS. You need to lose your children.
Yep.
Call
I agree.
CPS.
It's
agree.
infuriating anytime. My school, like Larimer County, just dropped their mask mandate. My school's keeping it up. I got kicked out of a class today because I wouldn't put my mask on.
How are you still in school? Because don't you guys have the other mandate?
Oh yeah, no, I just ignore all the emails and I'm pretending they don't exist.
I love
It's
it.
worked out well so far.
You've literally ghosted the school. You're like the girl that stopped calling the guy back. You're like,
well, no, that's how they
see him.
track this all on. I refuse to read a single email that they send me because that's how they find out if they can punish you. If I'm not reading their emails, I have no idea what they're telling me to do.
You're literally off the grid while being on the grid.
I'm smack dab in the middle of the grid with a giant like camo net over me, but not like a good camo net. Like we're in the middle of a city and I've got a woodland camo net and there's no trees around. So we'll see how long this lasts.
I don't know what your language
You're
is.
just,
Like I got a woman over me in the middle of a city, and then there's a tree next to me, and then a deer, and on a camera. People are watching deer eat, and they don't even know
I'm hiding
around.
in plain sight with terrible camouflage. I'm just ignoring them. That's all I'm doing is ignoring them. That's what a lot of people should do. Just ignore. These are petty tyrants. They can't actually do anything, especially when the CSU PD, the Fort Collins PD, the Larimer County PD have all said they're not enforcing anything. They're not going to enforce any kind of trespass order. They're not doing anything to anyone. They don't exist.
On that note, I think we're good to end this show.
Your video didn't work, Suni? I want to see it.
Here we go. This is the real Planet of the Apes. You know, this
It's
happened
just
right
sound.
after. There's no sound. It's just a helicopter. This was
yeah, what
after
happened in
Snoop
LA.
Dogg amped up all the apes to go out and act like thugs and gang members. And here you go. They're
You
jumping
can't
on
say
someone's
apes.
car.
You
Why
said
can't I?
You said you couldn't say apes last week. You said that wasn't right.
What?
Didn't you
what?
say that
Don't
last
misquote
week?
me. No, I didn't.
What did you say?
I was comparing outrage. I don't give a fuck that Joe Rogan compared black people to apes. I don't give a shit. I was comparing outrage. Go back and quote me on it.
All right, no, I believe
You
you.
know,
I have called.
my
I have
point.
specifically said black people act like apes when they were protesting Dante Wright, and I said that on the show with you guys. I was comparing the outrage.
Put the video back on, because I'm pretty sure if they had that new Lizzo Pixel camera, I would actually be able to see that they're
Oh, bazing!
black.
So
I can't really tell.
we talked about it last night on our prep call, but I'm gonna pull up the Jesus Christ. That is ridiculous. The Marco Rubio tweet. This is funny as shit.
That was funny.
So Marco Rubio got a lot of shit because he kept saying in his tweets yesterday, a deranged group of massless truckers and extremists recklessly flaunted mask mandates at Super Bowl, and it's just pictures of celebrities. And then another one was, I'll go ahead and bring it up. I strongly condemn the criminal actions of these truck drivers and Joe Rogan listeners in Los Angeles last night after the Super Bowl. The best was his far right followers were like, these are not truck drivers or Joe Rogan. How dare you misinform the public? It's called a friggin' joke. But anyways, this is just funny as crap that he's showing this. But yeah, this is just after the Super Bowl. These things are happening. You got the one white guy in the front. Let's see. Well, you can kind of you can see that. And then here is the deranged group of massless truckers and extremists recklessly flaunted mask mandates, and of course, all these people. By the way, Will Ferrell. Let me see if I can see. He looks old as balls. Look at
Where
that.
is he?
He's the guy
That's
next to
Will
Ryan
Ferrell?
Reynolds, right there.
Yeah,
What?
he's super. He looks really
He
old.
looks sick.
Real old.
He looks sick.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, man. I don't know. Let's see that. But there's a couple people they showed during on some of the clips, like Sean Penn and who else did they show? They showed Sean Penn and Mark Wahlberg did. See, that was the thing. They showed Mark Wahlberg's old commercial. I like to believe that some of these more manly men, tough guys that don't actually speak out for the, mainstream media and all that's going on. I like to believe that underneath it all, they are actually conservatives. Mark Wahlberg, they showed a clip of, or was it Matt Damon or Mark Wahlberg? I think it was Mark Wahlberg. They showed a clip of him at the very beginning of the pandemic being part of one of those commercials, like stay home, do your job and all that stuff, when everybody was thinking that was the right thing. So I don't necessarily think that's the end of the world, but some of these people are fucking just absolute pieces of human garbage.
Oh yeah. Any celebrity that tells people that they have to stay indoors, or anybody who starts classifying people as essential versus non-essential, is a horrible human being. You won't feel the effects of it, but there are millions upon millions of people that will feel directly the impact of all of this stuff. Not everybody has millions of dollars to just chill out.
Is that
on.
Michelle Obama?
Where?
That's Lizzo.
No, that's Magic Johnson's son, who
Oh,
wants to be a she,
I'm going to get out of that conversation.
but it's
All right.
a he.
What's his name? AJ or
Ariel, whatever female's name he decided to take on because he woke up and felt like a woman.
All right, I'm out of that conversation.
What is?
You can joke about dicks, but as soon as we gotta joke about gay people, you're like, never mind, I quit.
Somebody said we're off on Facebook. No, we're
wouldn't
still on
surprise me.
Facebook. 45. We got 45 viewers on Facebook.
I still see it up there.
Yeah. Just means that you got booted from Facebook because Facebook hates anything that's conservative. Lastly, I'm going to say this comment. I don't know if you guys saw it. You've seen Kelly Matthews. She's been on one of our shows. I talked shit on a rant the other day. So this is liberal logic, Suni. You're going to like this. This is liberal logic. I said I lost 70 followers one day on Facebook. They just pulled 70 followers for no reason. No idea. That was, I think it's based off of how many new followers we have. Like if we get 10 in a day, we usually lose like 7 or 8. So they're keeping us like right in that center area. Because I know that 70 people didn't just leave. So one day we had a couple lives that people were watching and sharing, and we gained about 35 followers. Those 35 caused them to trip and lose. We lost 70. I lost them all at once. I saw it happen because I was looking, and all of a sudden I look back and I go, how did we go down to like 720 out of the 33,000, like 33,720, which just happened. So I looked at the analytics. So I made a comment. I showed the screenshot, or I wrote something about it on Facebook. I then shared it to my personal page and said, this is why conservatives are upset. Like this is not this like left and right censorship and all this different things. So Kelly Matthews, ultra left, says, why do you always have to make it a right and left thing? It's not about that. She goes, I've lost followers off Facebook too. It's not some massive conspiracy. I respond, the fuck you have ever lost 70 followers in one day? Please show me the analytics to prove that. Let me see the proof. Her response, Anthony, you're the tech guy. I don't even know how to check that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to send it to you.
Then
So
how
if
do
you
you
don't
lost
know
so many
how to,
followers?
if you
Yeah,
don't know how to
exactly.
check that, how do you know that you have lost followers? You are literally making shit up as your point. You have proven
Repeal the
why the
19.
left is so
Math is hard.
stupid.
Math is hard. Repeal the 19th. That was the dumbest comment she could have ever made.
You literally
Then how
go,
do you know?
it's happened to me. Prove it.
I don't know how to
What?
read that stuff.
I mean, I've had some dumb comments, but that one was up there. Like that was like next level stupidity. Oh God. I don't even know where it is. There was another one that's
You
absolutely
have to start
absurd.
tagging me in this stuff so I can put just random memes in there to trigger people.
Well, she deleted it. I said, where I look an hour later. I go,
She did.
I go, where did your
knows how to
comment? She
delete
goes,
it?
you weren't understanding what she goes, you weren't understanding what I was trying to say. And I go, I don't think you were understanding.
So you were mansplaining in her book and she
I
couldn't
was-
take it because there was a ton of logic.
Right.
Hold on. There's one more that I want to show before we get off because
I don't know how to look at it. Well,
This
then how
one
do you know you
was-
lost followers?
Just remember,
Delete.
see if I can find this. Where did I comment?
if it wasn't for double standards, the left would have no standards.
I think I did this on my personal. This one was classic because this girl was trying to throw out statistics and she had no idea how to have a discussion. Let me see if I can find this. No. Fuck. It's on That's Not Right Politics, so it's part of that whole group of idiots. There it is. Can I find it? They show so it's on this story that is the FedEx driver says he was wearing a delivery uniform. So it's 2 white men charged after allegedly shooting at black FedEx driver. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit on the planet. So they're literally pretty much, here it is. They're painting it as this hate crime, like, black guy getting killed by 2 white guys. And I'm like, why don't you guys ever or why are you doing this? Why don't you cover every time a black guy chases after and kills a white guy, which statistically happens more. Neither are excusable at all, but this divisive race bait is ugly as fuck and completely counterproductive. This page is ignorant. This person decides to get involved in the discussion and is literally, where's her response? She says something about, dude, you're lame. But she essentially goes, there's way more white people in this country than black people in this country. Therefore, your logic is completely impossible.
What?
I go, explain that to you. She goes, there is over 100 million more white people than black people. So explain to me how that's a fact, how that fact is even possible. It's mathematically impossible. I go, you
This
don't
is
know
the
how to
same
use
woman?
numbers.
This is the same
Right.
woman?
No,
Coming
this
now.
is
the same woman?
Show me your work.
No, different person. This is
Bruh.
on she's
Because
like, dude, you're
we
lame.
do it more. Duh.
White, and this is a white person. Dude, you are lame. I was done with you hours ago. You make no sense. Continuously using words like logic and reasoning does not make you smart. And whites are the only race that seek to do harm to others specifically because of their race.
Wow.
What?
I said, please look up the knockout game. She goes, that is hard.
Look up
That is
Rhodesia.
hold on. That is why there are hardly ever reports of the contrary, because it does not go all ways. White racists are the largest group of terrorists in America, and that is a fact. No
it's
logic or reasoning can change that fact.
No,
You
it's
cannot defend your statement, and that is that. Good day. This is human
See,
being.
you should tag me and stuff like that.
I'll
because
tag you in
black
this.
people are really racist, bro.
Suni would love to go after her.
We black people are racist and very homophobic. All right. I don't know why people try to act like white people take the cake there, but no, sir. Black folks are extremely racist and homophobic. I grew up hearing every single racial slur that you could ever hear against a white person. So miss me with that BS.
Cash me outside. What's your current? It's not letting me tag you. What's your current Instagram name?
Oh, it's just Suni Blinks. Instagram?
You have
Yeah.
to type it in all the way.
Oh, it's _middle child. Wait, it's Suni.
Suni
It
underscore
just-
the.
you just-
It's right
middle-
here. It's right here. It's under my picture on the screen.
You literally have to type all the whole thing.
Yeah. That's how it is with Ian Wentz too. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show with the ignorance of the crazy leftists. Which again, I would love to
Yeah.
have a conversation with any of them if you would ever like to come on a
the
show.
It'd be
But
fun.
again, we would
didn't
love.
you say they came on your TikTok? Why don't you get them off your TikTok and tell them to come?
No,
over?
there's a couple that said they might actually come on a show. It was actually pretty fun watching them kind of shift because they're like they started with politics, saying that I'm dumb, and then like they started making fun of my big forehead, and I was like, and I didn't get I didn't care. I'm like, cool, and they're like, nice mustache. What are you? Do you hook up with young children? I'm like, no, it's a weird comment. I just kept moving, and then like I kept going back to politics, back and forth, and like a couple of the people that were actually educated and left were starting to actually like to have the conversation. It was interesting. And they were, instead of being like, yeah, but what about, they were more going, so what do you think about this? I was like, oh, that's an interesting way that the conversation has shifted. So
Yeah.
no.
I'm trying to find it because, so I think the year was 2017. They say they frame it like there's a lot of white on black crime. There was 600,000 incidents of white and black crime against each other, interracial crime. I think it was 2017. Of the 600,000, 90% was black on white, 10% was white on black. That's not to make any kind of assertions, but it is to say that, you know, we cannot continue to ignore statistics and just say race. You cannot perpetuate a narrative of there is a white supremacy problem, there's a white crime problem, white people are terrorists, when there is literally no data that would support that in any way, shape, or form. Stop trying to shift the issues. There are serious problems going on in our country that need solutions.
Well, that page chick would beg to differ because mathematically there are 40 million black people and 100 and whatever white people, and
we
she
couldn't
said
possibly account for over half of the violent murders in this country. It's just impossible.
impossible.
It's just so impossible. Yeah.
Oh God, I love people. Anyways, any final words, guys? What do you got? Let's wrap this shnikey up.
I'm not oppressed and I'm black. It's my TED Talk and I'm out.
That was actually pretty good. You got to get your pacing down better if you're gonna do a TED Talk. I'm not oppressed, and I'm black. This is my TED Talk. You got to do the spacing the way that they do it.
Okay, I'll work on it.
Yep. Let's see. All right, that's all I got. Anybody else? Final words? Yeah. Where do we watch your show, Kevin? Because you're the only one talking on it, so you're probably losing your mind.
Well, so it is it is Common Nonsense over on 1360khnc.com. It is, it's just me in the morning. I'm going to be bringing on regular guests, trying to get regular interviews going. And it's just me going over what is in the mainstream and giving you a logical, rational view of it and explaining how the corporate media, our economic overlords, and our political overlords work together to craft a narrative that they try to turn into common sense.
Casey's about to say that it's 2022 already, and it's right here. And Mo is saying, my hair looks fantastic.
Yeah. Mo is saying, vaya con Dios, and Suni wants to make it racial and ethnic. I'm going to say my shit in Spanish, vaya con Dios, go with Jesus, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Darling. That's it.
God, you said let's talk darling really fast. So they said subscribe to my YouTube channel, fuck around darling. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's read the fucking tag on my picture.
Sorry, Nancy. Casey, anything besides 2022?
Oh, just pay attention to who you got to vote for. Dr. Oz is leading in Pennsylvania. You guys got to fix that up there.
AwakeNotWokeStore.com. Check out what we got going on. If you'd like to support us, check out our Patreon. Use at AwakeNotWokeStore.com. Use 20%. Or use Convoy to get 20% off. And if you buy into the trucker stuff, 10% goes to however we can end up donating to the truckers. God bless.
And,
Godspeed.
And the mandateusa.com.
Thank you. And the Mandate USA. Let's help us. We'll do a post where you guys can actually share it. For the 85 people still watching, when we post it on our Facebook, take the pair of nuts that you still have and share it on. You have no huevos. Go ahead and share it on your page, and just take one for the team on this one. You won't get fired. At least I don't think you will. Take it easy, guys.
Bye, guys.
Huevos.